Alright everybody, and welcome back to more AEL Uni League for Dota 2. This is Kadius sitting on the desk with Blue Panda, ready to walk through another beautiful best of two. Tonight is going to be between USYD, No Brain Gaming, and Team LooneyMelb. How are we doing tonight, Blue Panda?
Super keen, as always. Another night of Dota 2 here for the University League coming into this matchup tonight. Obviously, it's going to be a big one. First versus third in Group B, so you know it's going to be an absolute hitter. USYD at the moment are currently undefeated. LooneyMelb have only lost the one match so far, so both teams will be pushing for one of those top spots and contentions going into playoffs. So I'm expecting some big stuff. Obviously, with the couple of changes that have been made over the last month or so, we will have to see some minor adaptations. But on the whole, look, I'm expecting some big Dota.
Definitely expecting some great Dota here tonight. And I've got to say, the meta has definitely seemed to have settled down. I remember the last time I was on the desk, the new patch 7.3 had only really just come out, and a lot of the teams were still kind of trying to find their footing in terms of exactly what the right picks were. There was a lot of people that were just kind of trying heroes that got changed for the sake of trying the new heroes, trying the new stuff. But now I feel like the good carries, the good supports in all of the lanes have definitely settled down a lot more. Has anything kind of surprised you about the new patch in particular that might have been a little bit more powerful than you might have anticipated?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, there's so much to break down, and keeping track of the 3 or 4 esports that I do, it can sometimes be a bit hard. But no, just like the big one automatically off the bat is I mean, Tinker, he got hit with the nerf bat a little bit, and a lot of people are talking about how he's probably not going to be seen a heck of a lot in the mid lane anymore. Now that Marching Machines has shown ability, he doesn't have the ability to farm side camps. It just makes things so much harder for him. But on the whole, like there was a lot of interesting changes which could shake up and introduce a little bit of power creep for certain heroes that you wouldn't be expecting.
Yeah, I definitely do think that there are a few position ones that are kind of good now, even after maybe not the most changes. I know there's certain heroes that are now getting played in a new sort of way that has made them very, very strong. I think Sven is one of the biggest examples of that. People have just started taking all of the talents that relate to Battlecry and just making Battlecry be this absurd steroid on such a low cooldown, giving him a ton of armor through the use of the level, I believe it's the level 15 talent. But, you know, that different sort of build and play style is just making that champion very strong. And that's not the only one. There's also a few that are definitely kind of rising up in popularity, but the teams have finally hopped into the lobby here. So without further ado, I think it's time to walk us through drafts and see what the first couple of bans are going to be here. It looks like LooneyMelb do you have first on the table.
Well, it's also worth mentioning, we have seen that change in the pick ban phase as well. It has received a bit of a change, so it's not quite the one we saw earlier. So you look at the first pick phase, in fact both pick phases, at the moment, round 1, Dire picks first, and then it's 2 picks that go the way of Radiant. So they've changed things up obviously a little bit off that. Kicking the bans off Lycan, yeah, he has seen a bit of a couple of changes, a bit of love, a bit of hate, but obviously LooneyMelb not keen to see him take the field.
Yeah, Lycan and Beastmaster are absolutely on a rampage this patch at the moment. Helm is just so good. You get that item completed, steal an ancient creep, and there's people running around with, these black dragons that are able to crit for an absurd amount of damage in the early game. Omni Knight, another position 5 that is doing incredibly well at the moment. Very, very strong, namely sort of a meta call as well, because he does do very well into things like the Lycan, like the Beastmaster. His ultimate, obviously, stopping all of those creeps from being able to do right-click damage. His Q being an AoE nuke around a target, able to kind of kill them off if they get a little bit too close. So just in general, definitely a big fan of the Omni Knight pick at the moment, so that getting banned away does make a lot of sense, and we're seeing Coddle and Nyx being the other two taken away in phase 1. Any thoughts there?
I mean, yeah, look at Nyx at the moment, reasonably strong in terms of setting up a lot of kill potential for teams, so you understand why it's taken away as soon as level 6 comes around. I mean, just the amount of impact that a Nyx, and a very good Nyx at that, can have on the map is kind of scary. And the Omni Knight, obviously, we've seen a decent amount of that, provides a lot of coverage, a lot of support for those slightly squishier safe lane heroes, because obviously you have to worry about the threat of a big nuke coming your way, but to kick things off, Silencer. Another operator. Rainbow Six coming through. It's on the brain, but another hero that has seen a couple of minor changes, but ones that put him in a pretty solid spot at the moment.
Yeah, he's an interesting hero to first pick as well, because usually think of Silencer as a bit of an answer call of a hero to, certain picks that are getting drafted along the way. Usually, obviously spellcasters and people that are maybe a little bit mana greedy that you can, use his intelligence stealer to really screw over. But we were just talking about Sven and the strength of this hero, and he's getting taken away off the bat. Likely going to be looking to pair this with a strong position 5. See what they go for. That is going to be Jakiro locked in. Could be filling that position 5 role. I don't know if I've seen a lot of Jakiro Sven. I know obviously the biggest one at the moment is Omni Knight Sven. Those two champions have a lot of synergy. Heavenly Grace, obviously giving Sven a ton of strength. And then, you just pop the Heavenly Grace on Sven. He pops the ulti with, the Echo Saber or whatever he may have, and will just delete someone extremely quickly. But Night Stalker, the follow-up lock-in for LooneyMelb. So a lot of silences on this LooneyMelb lineup so far, which, as many of you may know, Sven is a early BKB user. So going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Definitely. Remember my last match that I got to cast here in the Uni League? We saw a Night Stalker. Unfortunately, while it was the standout hero on that team, they still couldn't pull out the win despite a massive effort. But coming into things here, second round of bans. I mean, there's a lot of potential already starting to show itself. Tidehunter has seen a bit of love as well recently in the 7.3, obviously. But I mean, obviously, these two teams probably will have been paying a lot of attention to each other given their position on the leaderboard. So definitely you can tell that they are very aware of what their opponents are capable of.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Yeah, Klink's getting taken away. We'll see what we see taken off the board here for our next ban before pick phase comes along once again.
Radiant team
it is going to be Beastmaster, no surprises there. Taking away Lycan and Beast. Both of them very strong position 3s right now, have the ability to completely take over the game by themselves from the offlane position. About as well as each other. I think Lycan is a little bit better maybe, but again, that is why he was likely banned first. And then Slark getting taken away. One of the more popular position 1s at the moment. Obviously the buffs to his Dark Pact were substantial. Talent changes as well made his farm speed a little bit better than it normally was, but yeah, no, there's certain lanes that Slark used to have a lot of an issue with, but now you're able to just spam Dark Pact a lot freer or a lot more freely, I should say, and it definitely makes the matchup a little bit more manageable. But that is going to be Timbersaw taken away, and final ban here for our next phase before we get to second pick phase. See what USYD, No Brain Gaming decide to take off the table.
Remaining.
Just so many targets at the moment. 7.3 is caused a decent shift in the current standings of a lot of heroes going into this. And well, where does their priority lie? Do they take away something that could potentially negate a lot of that Sven's potential? They play for other lanes. These are other options that are available to them, but they definitely there's a lot of thought going into it. They headed into the reserve time. So you got to wonder, just what is their win condition? Obviously, coming into this matchup, what do they want to enable? What do they want to play around? Obviously, with the Sven, if you have the right setup, he can do a huge amount of work. But with that Omni Knight off the board, obviously you don't have as much setup as you potentially could have. Definitely, you said that might be maybe a little bit stumped here.
Radiant team pick.
There's going to be Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, taken off the board for the final ban from No Brain Gaming. USYD looking to get the first pick here as well. We'll see what they take. The Monkey King does make a little bit of sense.
10 seconds remaining.
Fairly good champion against the Sven.
5 seconds remaining.
able to hit him fairly freely, stack up your Jingu in the lane. And then Sven doesn't quite have the sustain to match him after that point. Also, champion that is fairly strong again with his new shard. You have, the old Deceive back again, where you're able to have the 0.5 seconds of invulnerability once you get it on a fairly low cooldown, which is very, very good because you can dodge things like Sven stun, right, which makes Sven very, very annoyed at trying to get on top of you. But speaking of champions that were changed in 7.3, yet again, Kunkka. This champion was changed to do a little bit worse in the mid lane when you are building him around the Tidebringer, but when you are playing him around kind of his base damage,
10 seconds remaining.
base damage did go up, support Kunkka, offlane Kunkka, that sort of thing.
5 seconds remaining.
Mostly untouched, but, position 2 Kunkka, who really wants to just abuse that
Dire
cleave,
team pick.
did get hit a little bit. And Shadow Demon going to get locked in for LooneyMelb. Any thoughts on the picks so far that we've seen here in second phase?
I mean, they're still playing this reasonably close to the chest. They're not revealing a huge amount, but I mean, yeah, again, bit of rescaling
10
happened the way of Shadow
remaining.
Demon to keep him. I mean, obviously not one of those heroes that can spiral out of
5
control as we
seconds
have seen
remaining.
Shadow Demon at times do in the past, but they've got a lot of setup. They really do. They are looking to enable one, I would imagine, probably their position 1 to take those fights with someone like the Sven, like the Kunkka out of commission. So obviously that Shadow Demon is going to be pretty key for enabling that. Obviously just being able to produce those clones later on in the game, especially if you've got a hard hitting carry, taking down towers and sieging and all the rest of it. So there's only so much you could read into it.
Yeah, the Shadow Demon, likely a hero that we see going position 5, position 4, very much so a support hero. Silencer could do a few
Radiant
things,
team pick.
but effective reveal does show that, likely not going to be going in a core role, considering Night Stalker and Spectre both locked in. Silencer pos 2 I don't think is too common, so a mid is going to be likely the lock in here. Unless they do for the Night Stalker mid.
10 seconds remaining.
Not entirely sure. Definitely very
5
flexible
seconds
comps
remaining.
here from LooneyMelb. USYD's is a little more clear cut. Still a little bit of toss up where this Kunkka is going to go. Kunkka very much so a hero that can go basically anywhere except pos 1. And even then, you could go pos 1 if you want to do something a little bit spicy. But not the best hero for doing that, I would say.
Be more of a brute force situation,
Dire
trying to
team
put him
back.
into that role. But I mean, there's a lot of synergy already stacking up. The Phoenix coming in, yeah. There's a lot of team fight already on the board for USYD, and I honestly, going to the late stages of the game, LooneyMelb are going to have to be very careful where they take those engagements.
10
Obviously, the
seconds
Supernova
remaining.
online, if you set it up with the Ghost Ships, Torrent, and then a
5
Stormhammer on
seconds
top,
remaining.
things could turn quite quickly out of their favor.
Yeah, the Phoenix pick does kind of show that this is likely not going to be a support Kunkka. It's probably going to be a
Radiant
core.
team
With Jakira 5, Phoenix 4, I would imagine that's the most common role that those two heroes would fill. So it does mean Kunkka's either going 2 or 3, which means, based on their last pick here, I would
Dire
imagine
team
that
back.
is going to be exactly where LooneyMelb are targeting. Does look like they suspect it's going to be going towards the position 2 role. So they are trying to take out some very strong offlaners. Broodmother being one of them, very good at the moment. Pugna is going to be the ban here, though, from USYD No Brain Gaming.
10 seconds remaining.
I suppose it does indeed do a pretty good job at actually
5
shutting down
seconds
Sven.
remaining.
Obviously, you decrep a Sven, he's not able to attack anything. Sven is not having a very happy time in general.
Well, I mean, it's also the change to the Netherward. It provides, you lost the mana reduction aura and now heals when it triggers. So
Radiant
he can
team
provide
back.
that survivability on top of everything else that he does. And then Razor as well. Understandable. Razor can be a real nuisance, especially to someone like a Spectre who, I mean, already doesn't have the highest hitting base attack. So taking that off the board, getting rid of the leash, getting rid of that threat.
10 seconds remaining.
Does mean that they have more to work around. And obviously, going into the final ban,
5 seconds
it does
remaining.
start to paint a clearer picture of where we could end up.
Yeah, the Razor takeaway is an interesting one. We'll see what the final ban here is for the side of No Brain Gaming, but I'm curious to see what the picks are going to be.
Dire team
Obviously, they have a lot of crowd control on the side of No Brain Gaming. A lot of damage coming out of this Sven.
Radiant team
They could really pick whatever they wanted. Void Spirit is going to get locked in though from UniMelb, likely their position 2. Does show that this is probably going to be a Night Stalker 3. And then Shadow Demon and Silencer being the 4 and 5. So that's the comp for LooneyMelb,
10
pretty much
seconds
shown
remaining.
clear cut. We'll see what they decide to go for
5 seconds remaining.
in response. I'm not actually entirely sure how the Kunkka into Void Spirit matchup goes, but now that they do have that knowledge, they can choose to either put the Kunkka in the lane and pick a offlaner here, or they can put the Kunkka as a 3 and they can pick a mid. We'll see what USYD decide to go for though.
They want to wait till the very last so they can give themselves that much more time to prep, and there we go.
It is
gonna
going to be a
Pangolier.
Pango. Pangolier very much so. Going to be that position 3 pick likely. Could be position 2. Hard to say. Both of these heroes in general are fairly flexible between the 2 and the 3 role. So which one ends up actually going into the lane is up for debate, but only time will tell. While we're waiting to hop into game though, if you would like to thank our lovely sponsors that everyone can see at the bottom of the screen right here, which, you know, we wouldn't be able to be here delivering this great AEL Uni Dota 2 game for you all if not for, you know, the lovely people down here. But, you know, we are into, I believe, week 4. So it's definitely getting pretty into the competition now. Some teams are starting to figure each other out. And, you know, definitely going to be some great Dota. But before we hop in, without getting sidetracked, Blue Panda.
Like, there's some big sponsors on this year, as every year. Honestly, just massive stuff coming out of all the people involved in making this competition happen. Obviously, Chatime are just huge on board with the competition, backing every single Uni League esport that we have. Honestly, just top tier stuff. If you want to go and try the new range today, obviously it's probably going to be some people, but if you can, definitely go give it a look. AOC, you want crisp, clear gameplay, so get yourself an AOC Monitor. They're probably the best on the market at the moment. Indomie as well, feeding the students. Look, I could definitely tell you that my uni years, I spent a number of nights eating Indomie noodles, so I know for a fact that they're good, and so did the students playing. And then ROG, the newest people in this competition, the phenomenal headsets, doing some big work, and their logo is very apt. What it takes to win.
Certainly, well, big shout out to them. But now we are about to hop into game. Let's get into it and see what's going to be happening before laning phase kicks off here. Does look like this might be a Night Stalker in the mid lane, actually, as we do see the Tango's Braces start, which could, you know, there's very much so position 2 sort of starting items, but could be, maybe not. We'll have to see. I imagine it's Void, though. No, this is much more like it. It's probably Void, yeah. Definitely interesting, though. I don't see the Braces start too often. I can imagine it being fairly good.
Might be to just sort of deal with the, you know, having a Phoenix and a Jakira on the board. That's a decent amount of magic damage, and obviously having that brace to having, you know, extra strength just gives you that a little bit more survivability.
Yeah, the status resistance is great as well.
The battle begins.
There we go, rune pickups already.
Yeah, nothing going to be happening pre-lane phase, I suppose, but let's wait and see. I think everyone's playing this early game fairly passively, though.
There you go, it is Pango move. Kunkka offline. Brain time. But yeah, Night Stalker bot. You got the Void Pango matchup mid, could be interesting. mid lane. Pangolier, Suramen Noodles, ironic name, onto 9, gets him down to half. He's going to get the Observer Ward as well, clear things out.
So talk us through these lanes exactly. In terms of Sven, Jakiro going up against Night Stalker, Silencer here in the Radiant safe lane. What are our opinions on how this one's shaping up?
I mean, realistically, it's going to be a bit rough. You can see this potential coming out, and this is exactly what's happening. They're just going to go straight in on this Night Stalker.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, it's kind of what you expect. You've got a great amount of setup. Not only is the Jewel Breath have that slow potential, and then pairing it with a Stormhammer on top, I think, honestly, this lane gets nigh unplayable as soon as we start to see this 3.
Yeah, certainly is a lot of damage, and we talked about, obviously, Sven, you know, normally it went for a very kind of cleave-focused build. You know, you'd pick up the attack speed, you'd pick up the movement speed, the cleave damage, you know, all of that stuff, but people lately have really been going for the Warcry duration and the +10 Warcry armor, and it's very, very strong because you are able to get 25 bonus armor at max rank, and you think about that in the context of Sven here, and you understand why there was so much magic damage, and then a Spectre Pos 1 with that pure damage available, drafted here from the side of Dire, and it's really to kind of deal with that Sven armor, because it can get very out of hand if you don't have a comp that's built around it. If you are building, you know, a very physical damage oriented composition and the enemy picks Sven, you are basically just doomed at that point, because the Sven is going to be so tanky, and no amount of disable really matters, because Sven is a hero who, as we know, gets BKB very, very early, because he's kind of not a champion unless he has a BKB up, because you are able to just stun him and kite him. So no surprises there with exactly how they've decided to draft with all of this magic damage and all these nukes. But we'll see if it, you know, is able to really deal with Sven, because he's a very strong position 1 at the moment. He's up there with, again, things like the Slug as being kind of top tier. Only time will tell. Meanwhile, we can talk about what's going on in the next lane here, the mid lane. We've got Void Spirit duking it out with the Pangolier. Any predictions here for this one? So far, we do see Void Spirit with a pretty convincing creep score lead.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Sir Ramen going pretty aggressively to start things off, got 9 all the way down to half health, but I mean, despite that early advantage, it seems like 9 has been able to bounce back reasonably well. I think, yeah, it is probably just going to be a trader farm for the most part, unless we see the call made for one of the supports to come in and join the fray and sort of enable one of those kills to happen either way. But until that sort of happens, yeah, it's just going to be a straight trader farm. We're not going to see anything crazy. Maybe once we start to see those ultimates come around, we could see something happen. But I mean, you can already see the way they're playing. It's not heavy aggression either way. They're just going to play around runes, play around the, you know, play around farm, get the money up they need to get some of those bigger items on board, and from there things can really start to go.
Yeah, we are really seeing that Resonate Pulse with the, you know, Absorb. Able to get himself a fair amount of effective HP in this lane, I should say, at dealing with Pango and his abilities. But nevertheless, looking up towards the Dire safe lane here. Our final lane, Spectre and Shadow Demon going up against what looks to be a Conquer Phoenix lane. So far, again, maybe not as aggressive as the Radiant safe lane in terms of kill pressure with the Jakiro Sven. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, you got Spectre, level 5, already has 7 armor, a decent amount of survivability. Sorry, my brain is just turned off. But survivability, especially given the Shadow Demon, you got Disruption. Should anything crazy break out, I just don't see a Conquer having enough burst damage to actually take down the Spectre at all. I think it's really going to be on Cage. If Cage gets caught out, things can then start to turn just a little bit. But yeah, again, one of those, they're going to try. They're going to go in on it. But
yeah, X Monks the spot does land, and they're going for the Fiery Spirits. Try and finish him off, but no, he's going to get out with his life. About half his health taken away, but meanwhile on the bot side, it is nighttime, and you know what that means. Nightstalker's domain has arrived, and they find themselves a quick pickup because of it. Sven looking to get the return kill, though, and it does look like he's going to be able to find it. Nice little 1-for-1 down in the bot side. Radiant Safe lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
More money in the pocket of Sven here. Just going to keep stacking up the cash, and you can already see him starting to outpace in terms of last hits. Right up there, top 3 at the moment. In fact, if you look at the top 5, 3 of them are coming out of the Radiant at the moment. So this is a position where we could see that call made. We need to rotate down and start dealing with the Sven. Stop him from snowballing out of control. Because now we have God Strength online. We can start to see him just flash farming the jungle. And if that's the last thing you definitely want in this situation.
A bit of a duel going on between the supports here in the Dire jungle.
Vanished, but not gone.
Mari Hikoku is going to get out with his life though. Although Vorkor has to watch out, gets hit by the X into the torrent. It's going to connect. Fiery Spirit's not available this time though for the follow-up damage.
Again, Vor finds himself just bullied a little bit. There we go. Big roam down to the bot lane. Secures a kill there for 9. They also get that courier taken out. Effort is just going to miss out on his boots for now, but I mean, it's that rotational power, and then straight back into the mid lane, straight back to farming. High level of efficiency being shown.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, right now we are just seeing Vorkor find himself behind in farm compared to this Ven. And is Duckflinger going to die? No, he's going to get the TP out in time. But Never Deserved You on this Sven right now is keeping himself alive. And definitely, you know, Sven, once he does have that fully maxed out great cleave, farms like an absolute fiend. We're going to be seeing that, you know, treads coming out, looking to stack the hard camp here. As you do. Stack away. Gets himself that one. The trusty shovel obtained.
Your anger is useless.
But yeah, no. The thing with Sven, compared to previous iterations of the hero, God Strength there just being used to farm a little bit faster. But here we go. We have Night Stalker popping the ulti. Looking to get aggressive on upper here. Sven's TPing in though. Looking to try and defend his position 5. Unfortunately not in time. Just Quals. Q-Pulse. We're gonna go aggro on this Sven now. Under the tower. In comes 9 with the Resonant Pulse to finish things off. It's gonna be a nice little pickup there. Honestly, I'm really loving these AEL teams and their Night Stalker. It's a hero that I don't see ever in pubs, but for whatever reason, AEL teams just love them some Night Stalker, and honestly, they always make it look good as well. You know, they get their first nighttime, they get a kill, they get a gank, they get a roam, and then during the daytime, they're popping their ult to get even more ganks once they do get access to it at level 6. And you see that, you know, that ultimate is just snowballing into a early tower, first tower of the game. Gonna be a nice 90 gold swing for every single member. Over to the side of the Dire, and that's not really where you want to be if you are, you know, on the side of USYD.
I mean, it's traditionally what tends to happen first Dark Ascension. You call down the mid laner. I mean, what, you're level 6, your ability gives you a bonus 50 damage, not to mention the bonuses you're already picking up from Hunter in the Night. So it's not surprising. Yeah, big missed call there from I Never Deserved You to teleport down to try and help the support. It's a tier 1. I probably could have spent his time a little bit better farming in the jungle. It did come a little bit explore that pace that he was on a little bit earlier in the match and farming, and now they have control of the spot side jungle. We can see LooneyMelb take some big map positions.
Yeah, one interesting thing about Sven is, you know, he is a hero of many builds, but I would say in general, it doesn't really matter because unlike a lot of position 1s, just due to God Strength and base armor from Warcry, and the fact that he has a stun, he's able to fight early, unlike a lot of position 1s. Like Vorkor on this Spectre right now is going to do not a lot of stuff if he tries to join in the fray. Whereas this Sven, definitely, if he does have that God Strength available to pop, giving his whole team access to Warcry as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You know, he's giving his whole team 6 armor and 8 movement speed for 8 seconds in a fight. And this early of the game, that is absolutely insane. But we've got a bit of a fight going out in the top side right now. Muddy Hikoku getting dropped very, very low. He's going to get melted down by Q-Pulse here, who is very strong right now, as Night Stalker generally is at these kind of stages of the game. You know, these first few early night cycles, plus the ultis. Looking for Green Flame now here on this Phoenix. Popping the Urn Charge on him, but decides to just back out to safety. Does know that the ultimate is expiring soon.
Dire's middle tower
Probably the
is
correct
under
call.
attack.
The coordination with the Haunt there, and knowing that Muddy Hikoku was pushing far too deep, that getting very greedy on that push under the tier 1. They still keep it alive as well, and they translate that in a big way. They extend that gold lead. It's now to the 2k mark, and all of a sudden, things are looking a little bit concerning here. Yeah, you got this man who is phenomenal at farming, but we've already seen USYD make those overextensions. Q is in a bit of trouble though.
Yeah, Q-Ball's not looking too hot right here. Does dodge out of the way of the swashbuckle. That might actually be what he needed to stay alive. And yes, indeed, he is going to live. Unfortunate miss there from Sir Ramen Noodles. But it really is just all off the back of this
Dire's top tower is
Void,
under
if I
attack.
have to be honest. You know, 9 is playing phenomenally right now on this Void Spirit. He has the highest GPM in the game right now, ahead of a Sven, which obviously, you know, farming faster than a fully maxed out Greater Cleave Mask of Madness Sven is, like, not an easy accomplishment to do, especially on a hero like Void Spirit. But he's looking for Green Flame right now. It does try and pop the burst combo, but he's able to Icarus dive out there to safety. Now looking to head down here and collapse onto potentially Muddy Hikoku if he's not careful.
Those were situations that you got to be careful. We saw it. Q just able to get himself away, but they may have found the effect they're looking for.
Yeah, 9 is so far ahead at this point. You're looking at how hard it is to kill this man. So tanky indeed. Global Silence does come out. Maybe looking to chase down Sir Ramen Noodles. X marks the spot onto 9, but a great disruption there from Kage S using Shadow Demon to his full potential. That wonderful disruption to, you know, disjoint the X marks the spot. Stop his very fed carry from potentially getting collapsed on there. And it does look like nobody is going to die. This game very close. Less than 1,000 gold lead right now, going the way of LooneyMelb, despite, you know, all the kills that they have in their favor.
I mean, there's just been a series of very near misses here for LooneyMelb. He almost gets caught out in the mid lane. They almost get turned on in the bot side jungle, and they just manage to escape somehow by the skin of their teeth. Well, now I'm going to find themselves
Dire's
in
middle
Arcane 9
tower
again.
is under attack.
With that and the Witchblade online is going to be a very potent threat. Neither Jakiro nor the Phoenix can get caught out here because
Dire's top
they
tower is
do
under
risk
attack.
dying with that Horn combo
Dire's
available.
structures are fortified. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Witchblade is going to be there. One thing that's actually, if I can show you guys, is a build that I've been seeing. This one, Mage Slayer on Void Spirit, or we are about to hop into a fight. I have to save it for another time. It looks like Q-Pulse is trying to just melt down Sven. He's able to TP out to safety though. They do find someone in the disruption here. It is Appa on the Jakiro, who, very squishy position 5, is likely going to be very, very dead here. Duck Flinger trying to find himself a little bit of bonus intelligence. But Appa doing a great job of dodging out. 9 actually going to be the one to pick up the kill. And only barely. But they might have overextended a little bit as Ghost Ship picks up Q-Pulse going a little bit too far. And now they're tracing down 9. He's going to be the next to follow. Kage also not able to get away from this Pangolier ultimate, I'm afraid. And that is going to be a quick and easy double kill over to Sir Ramen Noodles and their third pickup of the fight. USYD definitely come up huge.
Massive gold swing there. Now USYD are the ones in charge. They can look to push this mid tower as well. God strength bot, and this is going to be rough. Actually, no, sorry, it's just coming to the end of its cooldown. There's a little Kratos spot there, but they've got the bodies. Unfortunately, at this stage of the game, respawn timers are quite low. You can turn this.
Yeah, Global Silence does come in, and here comes Night Stalker. You know, champion is just so big, or hero I should say. But look at the combo right now. The Sven stun in the middle of the macro pyre melts down all of the health bars on the side of LooneyMelb. But obviously 9 is going to be the one that you're going to have to kill if you want to win this fight. Muddy Hukoku going down to the Shadow Poison from Kadius.
Bounty.
Having a great time, picks up the illusion and then digs up a bounty with his trusty shovel. But yeah, I talked about it. It's that team fight potential out of the side of USYD and fighting the choke point like we just saw them take. I mean, yeah, Macro Fire, Storm Hammer, you've got the Ghost Ship, Torrent. Honestly, you're literally giving a fight to USYD at that point. Just everything that they have online synergizes so well with that position.
Yeah, one thing I love about Kunkka as a POS 3 is you really, you don't need to go for the damage items. You can instead really start to focus on, just being a massive annoyance, being a big disruption tool to the enemy team. I love that playstyle of Kunkka, going for the Aghanims. Torrent Storm is hilarious. I have seen Torrent Storm, combos that have hit someone with a knockup, 4 times in a row. It's so much fun to watch, but Q-Pulse looks like he's almost going to get caught in a ghost ship. A little bit of a mistiming there enables him to blink out to safety, looking for Duck Flinger now. As they go forward, the God Strength has been popped. Disruption by Kadius to buy a little bit of time, but Sir Ramen Noodles using that Pango ultimate to its fullest potential, and Kadius maybe walking a little bit too far forward to save his teammate. And here we go, Supernova not going to be able to pop. They're going to find him in time. Vorkor has joined the fight with Hort. Q-Pulse getting dropped very low. X marks the spot. Should seal his doom. Indeed it is. No! Yes! Goodness me, that was so close to him getting out there to safety. Now Upper, he's very low. Look how tanky Vorkor is right now. What can I say? What is there to say but a Spectre with fully maxed out Dispersion. 17 minutes into the game with an Echo Saber completed. The Dispersion damage doing all it can. And now Muddy Hukoku going to be the last one to fall here, but he is going to fall. And that is going to be the position 1 of LooneyMelb coming up with a massive W for his team.
LooneyMelb lose their 2 supports off the bat in that fight. They then turn it around, wipe the team, only losing Q as a further point from that. At the moment, I mean, 9 is doing phenomenally. You look at Vorkor as well, 2nd and 3rd on the net worth, 9 second, Vorkor 3rd. Spectre, I mean, the combos they've been playing around this one have been phenomenal. The way that they've turned these fights have been phenomenal. Playing around those strong points, playing around every single strength they can get up. Yeah, we've seen a couple of overcommitments, but they get themselves that lead once again. And we've seen already, despite the phenomenal team fight out of the side of USYD, it doesn't guarantee a fight win.
Yeah, Phoenix is definitely a very good hero, but unfortunately not able to get the Supernova off, which is a lot of what makes him such a good hero. So we'll have to see how he does in this next fight. It is coming off cooldown. The Shard also very good, by the way. The one that lets you cast Sunray during the ultimate, but Sunray did get nerfed. No points in it at the moment. This is going to be a nice, quick and easy little pickup here onto 9. Just gets caught lacking. I gotta say, the Pangolier ultimates from Sir Ramen Noodles, the use of this Rolling Thunder has been very good. I actually didn't know that it was called Rolling Thunder. That's a funny Haikyuu reference.
That pickup off the back of a significant lack of information. That entire top side Dire jungle is controlled by the Radiant. Lovely little ward there, nice and deep, and to give them that information. But you look at the pings, everything coming through, they're looking for those opportunities, but
you're a trusty
we need
mate.
to start seeing some of that deeper vision coming down for LooneyMelb, otherwise they could lose a lot of control.
What just happened?
Yeah, so looking at the builds on all of the heroes right now, is there anything that strikes you as maybe a little bit interesting?
I mean, at the moment we're seeing, as you would expect at the moment, I think nothing crazy. The big glaring thing to me is obviously we didn't get to see Hukoku finish that halberd in that last fight. He lost the courier, lost the ability to finish things off. But otherwise, yeah, the paths you would expect these things to be taking. Silencer has the Falcon Blade there just to pump out a little bit more damage, keep himself a little bit tankier, as he has been focused down quite a bit. You look at Vorkor as well. Very close to finishing off this Manta style. He's in fact 200 gold away. And then you look at Sven, having picked up the Blink Dagger, he's got the Blink, he's got the Echo, and he's got the Mask of Madness. If Sydney can coordinate a team fight, engage on their terms, well, we've already seen 9 go down with that combo. And unfortunately, given the AoE potential of Sydney as well, if LooneyMelb find themselves fighting at a choke point in close quarters, it's more likely than not going to go the way of Sydney.
Certainly is, but meanwhile, there's no one to stop I Deserved You from going on a farming rampage right now, using that pig pole, the maximum effect. Speed up his farming time as much as possible.
Maximum efficiency. Well, there you go, more items, more neutral items starting to come through. We will see Sydney maxed out on the tier 2s at the moment.
Yeah, one thing that I hope we do get to see is the 7.3 Pudge picked up, because it's a very different hero after 7.3. To any who don't know, the big change that they made to Pudge in 7.3 is that Meat Hook now one-shots neutrals, or creeps in general, but more importantly neutrals, which means you can play him a lot like a Marana in terms of how he wants to farm. But hang on, it looks like Pangolier getting caught in a very unfortunate position right now. The Haunt is committed. Do they have enough to kill Appa here? Yes, they do. And that is going to be Vorkor on a dominating streak right now. And they're looking for more. Icarus Dive not getting cancelled, unfortunately.
Go off the back of it, they can start to establish some of
Radiant's
that deeper
middle
vision.
tower is under attack.
And from there, they might even be able to transition to a vision. Now, unfortunately, Hikoku on the job recognizes that there was a possibility that clears out the wave that was in the mid. So things will start to push back. Now they do have creeps, but the timings get a little bit funky there, especially with all 5 ultimates available here for University of Sydney. So they're just going to do what they need to, clear out some of that vision, farm as many of the camps as they can on the way back to their side of the map, keep that gold graph tilted in their favor. Up 2k, we've seen just how volatile it is at the moment, how quickly it can swing one way or the other. There we go, Vorkor has that Manta online. He's ready to go. We can start to see some of these team fights go absolutely massive.
Yeah, this Sven net worth right now is absolutely insane, and we are seeing them look to go crazy here. God Strength popped already. Trying to maybe melt down Q-Pols before he can get anything off here. The ultimate is committed. Or it wasn't even on cooldown, should I say. A minute away from having that one available again. But no, they are just going to find themselves a nice, quick, and easy double kill pickup, and that's going to be a great usage of the smoke there. Potentially could go for Roshan. Have to wait and see, I suppose.
Dire are scanning.
Hands coming out, so they are very
Radiant's
aware of that
bottom
position.
tower is under
Hikoku is
attack.
just going to teleport himself down, clear out the wave. X-Mark spot activated so that he can get himself back into position with the team. They want to snowball, they want to take a tier 2, open up one side of the map, but we could see 9 caught out.
Yeah, 9 is not in a good spot right now. Tries to pop the dispersion to get up onto the high ground right now. Great usage of the torrent, though, is going to give them a bit of vision and swashbuckle from Sir Ramen Noodles to finish that one off. Great pickup there, and that is going to be 9 as well. As we said, you know, very fed Void Spirit, second most fed member of this LooneyMelb lineup, and they're looking for this top lane tier 2 right now.
Is under attack.
Thanks to you.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I mean, yeah, that was a big pickup.
Radiant's bottom
9,
tower is under
a
attack.
little bit desperate in that situation, realised that he was caught, figured maybe he could take someone along with him, but even then,
Radiant
just
structures
wasn't
are
able to.
fortified.
And in the back of that, put a bit of pressure on the top tower, they take it down almost half, exactly half. But now, the regress is ready
There
to
we
go.
go, though. Here's Haunt, and here comes Vorkor. Look at the damage. Look at the teleports coming out from this Spectre right now. He's just blinking all over the place. And Vorkor showing exactly why Spectre is such a feared position 1 once she gets these items online. So tanky with that dispersion. So much damage coming out of this Echo Saber Manta style combo. He is picked up 2. Looking for more. Fortunately, no, Q-Pulse isn't even going to die. He's going to get out of there alive.
Yeah, this time he figured out, don't run back with a macro fire. It's not going to be the play. But they clean it up. They get a massive advantage here. And they're going to be able to translate that into a rocket.
Certainly is, and what was a possible Roshan opening for USYD has quickly turned into LooneyMelb taking it for themselves, and if this Spectre was not already a lot to deal with, you're gonna have to deal with a Spectre times 2 now. Spectre squared, one could say. Aegis getting picked up already. Now things are looking very shaky for USYD.
Walker well on his way to picking up the AEST as well. One ultimate orb down. He has enough of the point booster, but it's probably going to go straight to that second ultimate orb before we look to close things out. But these big items starting to come online. 9, he's got the Ags as well there, so the Resonant Pulse. I mean, there's a lot of big gains that have been made in the last 5 minutes or so here for LooneyMelb. 4K gold lead. They are starting that position where they could start steamrolling over Sydney, and look at that, and on top of it, Vorkor has taken the net worth lead.
Yeah, Vorkor is on a rampage right now, certainly playing out of his mind. Nearly has Haunt available once again, and pretty much every time he has this up, I would imagine it's just going to be the LooneyMelb window to go, one could say. It'll be interesting to see what talent gets taken at level 20.
Nine's running the Grove Bow. Hey, look, each to their own. If that's what he feels he needs. I mean, he's doing well so far. So we'll let him have it.
I mean, yeah, he does get the attack speed and the magic damage reduction, which is very good.
The wild thing is, Brigand's Blade is in the hands of old Duckflinger right now. So surely just a 1-for-1 swap would benefit the LooneyMelb's team.
Who knows the strategies that go on, but I do know the strategy that's about to go on, and that is going to be them looking for Geoflame. Unfortunately, 9 going a little bit wide, but AEST not looking to make the same mistake as they collapse down onto the side of this USYD position 4. The silencers are just going to stack on top of each other as he goes down, but 9 is looking for more. Maybe looking to go forward onto Upper here. The taunt not quite missing, though. Dragon is going to live to see another day. They're going to use this time, though, to sweep some vision. Get some vision of this Radiant jungle.
Honestly, I'm beginning to wonder if maybe LooneyMelb, Queen Stefani's fans, a lot of silence is coming into play and to great effect. The way they've been able to synergize on top of it, just everything seems to come together so well for LooneyMelb. They stack silences, Vorkor then gets involved, the Titan Sliver pickup as well. I mean, that's going to be absolutely huge. This Spectre, who is already very tanky naturally, has just got even more so. Second ultimate orb as well now in the pocket. Only, 680 gold away from that AEST too.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Upper here getting very dangerously close, and they're going to fully collapse. Blow him up. That is going to be the Jakiro. Not getting quite so lucky this time, going back to base.
You seem to have
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now once again, LooneyMelb are just looking
Is
to...
under attack.
They just take advantages. I mean, this is just the power of the synergy that is coming out of LooneyMelb.
They're just taking tower after tower. Certainly looking to get things done. Age is still available on Vorkor.
Dire are scanning.
generation. Coin.
This is where things need to change. I mean, you said they're keeping themselves in it. I never deserved you still farming up. He's regained that gold lead once again just because he's been doubling down. We do see the Silver Edge after that minor change that it did receive in 7.3 be a minor change to the overall price of things. So not the worst, but obviously with 7.3, the crit strike with the end of that invisibility coming through as well. I mean, this I never deserved you can start to really hit hard, especially if he can get that break going. And obviously with that, being able to come in and, well, cripple the Spectre is huge.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, shutting down Dispersion is definitely going to be a massive factor in these upcoming fights. We'll see if he's able to get it done with that Silver Edge. Only time will tell, but if he's able to get it done and is able to kill Vorkor in the time that it's down, It's definitely going to be huge, but one big factor that is in need of considering is that if you do pop the Silver Edge, disable Dispersion and kill Vorkor, he has Aegis. He's going to come back, and then how do you get rid of Dispersion again? You're not going to be able to Silver Edge again, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how things get done here.
Oh. I mean, you're hitting that 30-minute mark. Things already, like, I mean, we are starting to see final forms of heroes coming through, and with consistent victories in those team fights coming out of LooneyMelb, you've got to wonder, barring some miracle setup out of USYD, this could be the beginning of the end here. But, I mean, only time will tell. We do see more of those big items coming on. BKB picked up there by 9.
Invisibility.
Sven still has yet to grab his, and in fact, looks like he's going for a Lincoln Sphere rather than the BKB.
Yeah, meanwhile on the bot side, though, Ship is going to land onto Vorkor, but there's no way that you're killing this Vector. He is just too tanky. Massive 4-man silence, though, on the side of 9. Horny's going to get popped, so around the Noodles. Dropping dangerously low, but still somehow staying alive. 9 barely living through the macro pyre, but unfortunately not winning. Gonna live through I Never Deserve You on this vent. With these right clicks, they find one. They're looking for 2. And somehow USYD actually coming out ahead in that situation despite the massive engage from 9.
I mean, a 1 for 2, it's that Sven off the board, which is a huge portion of the damage out of USYD. So, yeah, you get the Spectre, yeah, you get 9 as well, plus that Aegis. But a team fight is probably going to be a bit of a stalemate here if they regress. They make the call, they back off, they go for the farm, do what you can. But honestly, for UniMelb, the longer that I Never Deserved You is off the board, waiting for that respawn cooldown, the better their chances are going to be of closing this out in the next 10 minutes.
I think we'll just have to wait and see. You know, interesting thing about Spectre is that Spectre for a very long time was like the quintessential Radiance hero, and people just don't build that item on Spectre anymore. You know, when you thought of Radiance heroes, you know, Spectre was like the one to come to mind. It's just really interesting how Spectre's identity, I suppose, has, you know, shifted so much away from that. Kind of just farming for the first 25 to 30 minutes of the game. Getting your Radiance Manta online and then suddenly just becoming a demigod. Instead, people opting to go for these, you know, Echo Saber into Yasha Manta style builds and having a much more kind of natural curve of power that does allow you to, you know, join early fights with the Haunt.
Well, I mean, it's usually one of those things. If you do see a Radiance in the Spectre, chances are he's had a very, very good game. Especially if it's something you're picking up early on. But so far, yeah, Vorkor, he wasn't like he hard struggled in lane, but he was being contested quite heavily. Any time that we saw the Shadow Demon step away cage going to pull lane, going to, you know, enable that farm to keep going, that's when they jumped on Vorkor. He found himself struggling, but we are seeing the setup. Smoke comes in, they're going to be pushing through the mid lane. 9, he's going in.
Yeah, they do find themselves Money Hikoku here. A little bit overextended. Yules onto the Jakiro. But look at the global silence here. This is the power of Silencer in these later game team fights as a position 4, as a position 5, locking down the side of USYD that is not able to do anything to stay alive from the onslaught being presented by from LooneyMelb, I should say. They're just going to get a nice, quick and easy 3 kills. 4 kills, actually. Buyback out of Pango to try and defend Rax here. We'll see if it's necessary.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Kind of what you're expecting, honestly. Like I said, it would have to have been some miracle setup in the fight. Like, you get the perfect supernova off, you get the perfect ice path into macro pyre, then you got rolling thunder, and the ghost ships coming through. But I mean, with the BKB already on 9, he's going to be able to fight through a large portion of that, plus the global silence, plus the initiation coming out of Q. All of it just sort of comes together to counter this USYD lineup in a pretty significant way. If you can't lay down that control, if you can't set up your abilities for USYD, you're basically just slamming your head into a wall.
Yeah, Vorkor here looking for the Abyssal Blade next. That point and click stun. Very useful for, you know, a variety of reasons against this lineup. Also just a generally good item. I think the big one is, you know, obviously Abyssal Blade does pierce spell immunity, and you have a Sven who is just going to be running at your team, and you're able to stun him. That's going to be very, very good, but I do think BKB not being picked up by Sven is an interesting one. I suppose not entirely necessary. Their only forms of CC per se are mostly point and click, so Lincoln's does do the job for the most part, while also providing, you know, more combat stats.
I was just going to say they're probably not going to be looking to initiate those fights, but I say it, they hear it, I've cast a curse them, and they are going to be going in.
Yeah, well, they are going to be coming in there. Pipe is popped immediately. Look at the damage being dropped on the Kage S. He's going to go down quick, smart, maybe looking for more. 9 actually does land the taunt here. Haunt gets popped. Look at the damage. That is going to be a very dead Sven in no time. Upper going down as well to 9 in the backline on a rampage. So Ramen Noodles juking them around in the Roshan pit right now with this rolling thunder. Duckfling as though is coming in with Vorkor. The cavalry has arrived. Rohirrim to the front, and they find themselves a triple kill for Vorkor. Looking for more. Ramen Noodles trying to TP out the best he can. He gets it. Kupol's not quite able to blink in time, but that is going to be the second Roshan of the game, looking like it's going right over to the side of Dire.
Big transitions, and it's like they committed a huge amount just to try and get that kill on the Kage, and then all of a sudden, you know, Global Silence comes out, 9 straight in on top of I Never Deserved You. He does have BKB. They get the supernova off in a great spot. It does lock him down just a little bit, but that's only a momentary blip for the side of LooneyMelb, who then transition into a big win, take that Aegis as well. And from here, honestly, this is the beginning of the end. I think this is where LooneyMelb, they just heal themselves up. In fact, they might even do that. They're just going to look to push through mid, look to close this map out.
Yeah, I mean, Spectre is level 25, right? You have 30% dispersion coming out of that level 25 talent. It's just so much damage reflection. You could argue that because they do have a Silver Edge available, it might be a little bit better to go for the illusion damage, but I don't know. I think just, even if that is the case, I still think the dispersion talent is still worth taking. Just for the times where you're not Silver Edged, it's just so strong. 30% dispersion is disgusting. You just flat in general take 30% less damage and just reflect it at people that are hitting you.
Radiant's top tower is
Really
under
gross.
attack.
It means that for almost, like, for all damage you receive, you're like reflecting a third of it back nearly, which is just disgusting when you think about it. It's why Spectre is just such a strong late game carry.
Dire
And when
are
you're in these
scanning.
games that are 37 minutes long, you know Spectre really just does shine.
I mean, even without Spectre at the point so far, we are starting to see some of those bigger items come out. You've got Agnem Shard on both the Void and the Silencer, so not Dissimulate gets that much more scary. And then you've got, on top of that, the Glaives of Wisdom bouncing for such a significant portion of damage. I mean, already 24 permanent intelligence.
Yeah. Hikoku, unfortunately, walking up a little bit too far in the mid lane. That is just going to be a quick, easy pick up there. Last word int multiplier, though, picked up for Duckflinger.
Radiant's top tower is
You can
under
see him now
attack.
sitting at a massive amount of int, over 106 base intelligence right now. Cute Balls running a rampage with this Night Stalker ultimate. Buyback does come through from the Phoenix, though, and look at the damage! God's strength, what is there to say?
Radiant's top tower
Q-Pulse, not afraid. In there with the BKB right now, looking to melt down this Jakiro, and indeed, the Phoenix as well. Dispersion, maybe going to get him out. No, indeed. What can I say? God's strength is just so strong right now, but not as strong as Vorkor, and he's looking to make a statement about it as he melts down the opposing position 1, looking for Arpa. He's not even going to finish him off. He's like, I'm not even going to pay any attention. The Manta illusions can finish you off. You're not worth my time. Absolute disrespect from Vorkor, and he is going to turn onto that mid lane Rax and melt it down in no time.
I mean, the moment, I never said if they got their kill on a 9, they thought they could turn around. All of a sudden, Vorkor is there, ready to go with this freshly acquired Abyssal Blade. Stun just drops on his head. They're going to look to clear out the base. They get mid and the racks there. And Q and Vorkor will transition down to the bot lane. The only one who can resist is Sukoku. And look, he's got a pipe and a Heaven's Caliburn with that BKB. He's not going to be pumping out a huge amount of damage, especially against Vorkor, who's currently stacked at 26 armor right now. And on top of that, 4.2k health. This is an absolute unit. Q farm as well. It's pretty stacked himself. There's, yeah, look, unfortunately, despite the best efforts and all the intentions, Muddy Sukoku is not going to be able to help out a heck of a lot other than setup.
Yeah, they get themselves 2 racks there, and you know, this is a really tricky game state to be in when you are 2 racks down, because both of these lanes are going to shove on their own. You know, you have super minions on, you know, the bot side and the mid side for you that are just going to push against the regular minions, and you know, these in a wave 1v1 will win every single time. So you don't have to worry about mid and bot, right? Nobody has to ever shove these in again, because they are just going to shove in by themselves, which means as heroes, you can put 5 people top to shove in, while they can't just put 5 people top, because if they put 5 people top, these waves are going to shove in and start pressuring your buildings. So they'll have to send people to clear them eventually, and when they do, you'll have a numbers advantage on the objective here. You clear it out, and that's why this game state is so tricky to come back from here, and we're seeing exactly why as they try to melt down Vorkor, but just look how tanky he is. They're just not even able to put a dent in this LooneyMelb position 1. He's going to melt down Green Flame. Meanwhile, on the backside, we've got 9 running amok on upper, melting down the position 5 like he wasn't even there, and Q-Pulse barely missing out on a kill there, unfortunately, but so tanky, this Spectre, and that is going to be GG's getting called already. LooneyMelb winning game 1.
Just massive stuff. You look at it, 14-2 there for Vorkor. Just had a stunner of a match. Just the coordination of LooneyMelb was kind of scary, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I mean, the global silence into the crippling fear, into the horn. It just all came apart, and then you had 9 jumping into the fray as well. As much as the setup was looking very strong for the Sunny University of Sydney, they pulled off the combo once, and that was in the mid lane, in the river. They took a massive fight. The only time I think they had that gold lead as well. But, you know, LooneyMelb, they just played around their cooldowns. As soon as they had the ult available, they were ready to re-engage the Blink Dagger on Q as well. As soon as the global silence was popped, he was in there following it up, just compounding it. In a 43-20 kill game, it speaks for itself.
Yes, certainly a great performance here from LooneyMelb in game 1, especially, you know, Vorkor really did what, you know, his hero is meant to do, but it was all off the back of 9 and Q-Pulse making so much space in the early game for him to farm up. You know, this Night Stalker and this Void were just running around the map, getting things done, being, you know, tempo cores. Void and Night Stalker, that's exactly what they're meant to do. They're meant to run around the map, dictate the pace of the game, get those early ganks off, and that's exactly what they saw them do, and obviously it paid off massively, enabling Vorkor to get his items going, join the fight, and just start exploding as a late game Spectre, as the hero does. But, folks, we're going to throw it over to a quick break, but be sure not to go anywhere, as this is a best of 2, which means we're going to see whether or not LooneyMelb are going to walk out of this with a clean 2-0 victory, or whether or not USYD No Brain Gaming are going to bring it back and potentially find themselves sitting in a 1-1 tie. Alrighty, and welcome back, folks. We are about to hop into our second game of the night here between USYD, No Brain Gaming, and LooneyMelb, who previously won Game 1 in a pretty dominating fashion. Was a fairly lengthy game, though. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk once again by Blue Panda. How we doing?
Good, yeah, I mean, LooneyMelb's strategy, it paid off. They knew exactly what their win conditions were. They played to it, setting up those globals, being able to play off of Q and his Night Stalker as well. I mean, it was just a level of coordination that has to concern USYD, especially given, like I said, at the beginning of the broadcast, USYD are first place here in Group B, LooneyMelb are only third on the table, and we could see USYD suffer their first loss here this season.
Always a possibility, but we are about to hop into our wonderful drafting between the two teams. Once again, Lycan first ban here from LooneyMelb, who are choosing to go Radiant side this time by the looks of things. So they did do a side swap between Game 1 and Game 2.
You'd have to imagine USYD at the moment are trying to figure out whether they do go for those respect bans at the moment. We are seeing that same trajectory being followed here. Lycan and the Nyx for LooneyMelb, and that Omni Knight obviously here for USYD. Coddle again being banned away, so no real concern, at least at the moment, from USYD about the picks that we saw out of LooneyMelb last game. We haven't seen any of those big three targeted away here, which could leave that open for LooneyMelb to go once again. We could see that Night Stalker come through. They played very well around that Silencer and Shadow Demon combo as well. So obviously, I mean, maybe it's a case of USYD don't really consider it that much of a threat, and they have a game plan and how to maybe address that here in Game 2.
Yeah, same bans as we saw previously. Night Stalker going to be the first lock-in here for LooneyMelb. I imagine Q-Pulse will be piloting that one again, unless they do decide to flex it somewhere else. But, I mean, he did seem to be quite the Night Stalker player, fairly high hero level on it, so would expect it to be put there.
5 seconds remaining.
See what the answer is, because I don't think they really had a good enough answer to the Night Stalker in the previous match. He was kind of able to run a bit of a muck, nighttime kind of hit, and he was just running all over the enemy team. That AoE silence just stopping their ability to do anything at all.
Right? I mean, you'd have to imagine that that next ban phase USYD target at the silencer, because it was that global silence into crippling fear combo, which made it so hard for USYD to contest a lot of these fights. Pick coming through to Sand King. So USYD maybe looking for a bit of extra engage this time around, a little bit of extra frontline, even a bit of tankier frontline as well.
Yeah, I think Sand King is definitely an interesting one. I mean, makes a lot of sense because he's kind of a hero that doesn't require
5 seconds remaining.
him to cast spells once he's in the Night Stalker's range, right? Like, you cast the ultimate, and then you blink in, and then if you're silenced, it doesn't matter, you're still ulting their team at that point. So I can kind of see why that would work. Treant Protector, though, is one that I do like. The Living Armor, pretty good at dealing with things like the Night Stalker, like the Sven. We'll see if they still opt to go for the Sven here. That was LooneyMelb's second lock-in previously. Will it be the second lock-in this time once again?
I mean, the silence is still available. We could see that picked up here, and I think maybe that's what LooneyMelb are trying to decide. Do we stick with the silencer? It was so incredibly effective. And yeah,
it looks like it
that's a little concerning for USYD here, to let them get that same combo off. And yes, you have some tankier frontliners. You've got the Sand King who can engage from distance. You've got the Treant as well, with that living armor to try and negate Night Stalker's engage there in the hands of Q. But the setup is still incredibly strong already out of LooneyMelb.
Yeah, Sven is going to get banned away by LooneyMelb actually here, so maybe not wanting to see USYD pick that one up yet again. Would make a lot of sense. It's a fairly troublesome pick, but nevertheless, Terrorblade going to be the next ban here. taking that one off the table. Which is interesting.
He did see some love in 7.3. With, you know, just a little bit of a rebalancing across the board.
10 seconds remaining.
Plus, you know, the added ability to extend things
5
out
seconds
in
remaining.
terms of his metamorphosis once he picks up that level 25 talent. An extra
Dire
20
team
seconds on
back.
top of it. That's kind of nuts. Losing out the attack range is a bit rough, but he's also got a basic dispel on Demon Zeal as well once he picks that up. So, I mean, that's where things can start to get a bit scary. Especially going into a game that we saw go as late as it did in our last matchup. Slark, another ban. Same as last time. Yeah, they needed to take one of those key tools off the board. The Global Silence into the Crippling Fear, into the Haunt combo was just far too strong. To let them potentially pick up the Spectre as well was just giving them too much room.
Yeah, certainly is indeed. Going to be seeing some new carries this game, to say the least. As Ven and Inspector both taken off the board, so we'll see how this next pick phase goes. It's going to be an interesting one.
Thanks once again coming out again. Another hero that saw some changes coming through for 7.3. A little bit, well, not different per se, but still can be that absolute shredder that he has been for the longest time. So it makes a lot of sense, especially given the play style of LooneyMelb. The last thing you want is, Global Silence is a Crippling Fear, only to find that there is, well, a Clinks in the back line, and you've just invested all this engagement only for your key carries to fall as a result of it.
Clinks is a problematic position too at the moment because he's a very, very good ganker. And he also has some of the best wave clear of any mid laner available, just simply for the fact that, like, they changed his ability, and his new one insta-clears creep waves. It will just one-shot creep waves, which is really good. It's really, really good, because you just one-shot the wave, roam, come back, one-shot the wave, roam, come back, one-shot the wave, roam. Not only that, but, like, his farming speed is stupid, because you can one-shot waves, you can one-shot neutral creeps with your consume or devour, I forget the name of it. So you just run around the place just one-shotting like everything that gives you gold, getting a ton of items, and he becomes really problematic very fast in games right now after his changes. So banning away the Clinks, I can definitely see why that would be the case. But one of my personal favorite heroes of the patch, Gyrocopter, locked in here for LooneyMelb. This makes me very excited. The flak cannon changes to Gyrocopter has made me a very big fan of the you max your flak, you build stats, and you just be this annoying backline threat that will just hit the entire enemy team all at the same time, and it is so fun to play. You do so much damage. Definitely like it way more than the missile barrage single target nuke with the rocket type of gyro build. I think that is a little bit less fun in fights, but yeah, this flak cannon build is so much fun. I do hope he goes for it. We'll have to wait and see, but Venge getting locked in here, another hero who got a lot of love from 7.3 with the damage reduction being put onto Nether Swap. And Shadow Demon going to get locked in once again for LooneyMelb's Kadius. I would imagine, I assume these heroes are going to be going to the same place as they were last time with Duckflinger on the Silencer and Kadius on that Shadow Demon.
Radiant team back.
Here we go, Phantom Assassin. Okay. A little bit telegraphed, honestly. Phantom Assassin can struggle in some of those team fights, so you give it a living armor, makes it just a little bit harder to kill, plus the Venge combo, having the armor reduction, just, I mean, enables
10 seconds
so many possibilities with this Phantom Assassin. So you could see that they were going for someone who was a little bit squishier, but could definitely blow people up. Unfortunately, though, for USYD, LooneyMelb at the moment a 3 from 4 of exactly what they brought last time. Obviously, with Spectre banned out, you're not going to see that coming in again. So the gyro, honestly, I reckon it works quite well on top of it. You've got the disruption, you can set up the combo, but this time it's actually LooneyMelb the ones to ban out Void Spirit here.
Strange indeed, but Can't help but wonder why exactly they do decide to go for that one, especially considering they
10
do have first pick.
remaining.
So if they wanted Void
seconds
Spirit, or they
remaining.
thought Void Spirit is good in this game, they did have the chance to pick it up again for 9. But
Radiant
I guess
team
they
ban.
don't want to pick it, but they also don't want USYD to pick it, so they just decided to ban it away. But either way, Razor is going to be banned yet again here in this final ban phase. We'll see what final 2 bans are for both teams. Hopefully we'll say a lot about what they're wanting to do here between the 2 compositions.
10 seconds remaining.
I'd imagine, so LooneyMelb, you're probably looking at some sort
5 seconds
of, I would
remaining.
imagine, initiate a mid. But on the side
Yeah.
of
Dire team
USYD,
ban.
I mean, that's exactly the role that 9 filled on the Void Spirit. In the
double
last
spirit.
game, he was really just playing very aggressive on that Void, ulting into the backline, popping, dispersion, massive AoE silence, and then just being a nuisance overall and allowing, giving him that
10 seconds
time
remaining.
for Q-Pulse to come in on that Night Stalker with the blink and
5
get in the
seconds
fight with him.
remaining.
But often 9 was the first point of contact, so I can imagine him filling that kind of similar role in the team, once again reprising that initiator kind of position 2 style once again. But very similar comp from LooneyMelb, except for
Radiant
Vorkor,
team
who is on
pick.
Gyrocopter, who is much more of a early to mid sort of position 1. Falls off in the late game compared to a lot of position 1s. I think Phantom Assassin is one of them that he kind of might struggle against in the later stages. But I have played Gyro into Phantom Assassin myself, and as long as you pick up an MKB,
10 seconds
you are
remaining.
really able to pump out damage onto her until she's able to, get
5
online, get her
seconds
items, get coup de grace going, and just delete you. Until that point, you are pretty solid with your flak cannon just being able to sit in the back, taking the flak talents.
At the moment, I mean, it might just be me, but I'm getting tiny vibes out of the sign of LooneyMelb at the moment with their bans. I mean, he sort of fits perfectly in what they're looking for. Get a tiny going, obviously now has increased splash damage when he gets the tree.
Yeah, Tiny would be good
I-
because he doesn't need to do auto attacks to delete this Phantom Assassin. You can just pop the avalanche into toss combo, delete
Dire
PA,
team
and then that is going to be all she wrote. And it's almost like with Profits. What can I say? Tiny locked in here for LooneyMelb.
I mean, it's very much a case of if it fits, it fits, and they were looking for some setup, some engage. I mean, as soon as you get the blink ever
10
toss
seconds
combo
remaining.
going, it's just it becomes a scary thing. The question now, obviously, for
5
USYD, what do they
seconds
do? What do they
remaining.
bring into this? Because at the moment, a lot of their their success now relies on Phantom Assassin and the ability for I Never Deserved You to pick up early kills, early items, and play around the armor reduction, play around the living armor. Yeah, you've got Sand King there, I would believe, in the hands of Muddy Hikoku for the setup with that Burrow Strike, but they need something strong out of the mid that can be a fallback and invoker.
Now select
I mean,
your heroes.
Look, yeah, this is something, a control mage in the mid lane could definitely enable this comp.
This is my favorite hero to watch in the entirety of Dota 2 when he's played well, so I'm going to be all eyes on Sir Ramen Noodles, who definitely had an impressive Pangolier performance, was one of the more impactful playmaking members of USYD last game. So going to be interesting to see if he continues that fashion moving forward, but certainly the LooneyMelb lineup is looking scary. It does look like 9 has taken this Gyrocopter pickup, which means potentially we could be seeing Gyro position 2 in the middle lane and Vorkor going for this position 1 tiny safe lane, which is very interesting if that is the case. Certainly the opposite of what I would have initially assumed between these two players. They could just be role swapping, just going different places as last game. That's also a very big possibility. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, yeah, I think it's maybe even just a play to give it a little bit of security in the mid lane. I mean, if you play the mid lane right, Tiny shouldn't be in any real
Prepare
danger,
for
but
battle.
having that added bonus of being a gyro, having a bit of extra range means that 9 can contest farms that little bit more comfortably. He doesn't have to, deep commit to try and get money. So yeah, I can understand why they've done it. And I Never Deserved You. Yep, I'm the Phantom Assassin. looking good with that Arcana as well. So Ramen looking to start things off with that Quas. So they are probably looking for a fight around one of these rune positions.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what he goes for here, whether it's going to be a Quas Wex, whether it's going to be a Quas Exhort. Quas locked in at level 1 obviously does mean it's going to be one or the other. No Wex Exhort builds here, I'm afraid. Which aren't common. I'd say it's the least common one. Definitely Wex Exhort builds are not seen a whole lot. I think there was a period where it was a little popular because you could use Alacrity to get a ton of attack speed with certain items and just be a right-click menace very early on in the game that would just like kill people in like a few right clicks basically, but definitely not that strong anymore. I think going for the Quas Wex style is most effective.
The battle begins.
I think Quas Exhort is also very good. I don't know, depends. Depends on the game, depends on the player. We'll have to wait and see exactly how Sir Ramen Noodles decides to skin this cat.
I mean, yeah. I think especially with a comp like this, you are probably going to be looking more that control mage style of play. Sort of the Quas Wex, just because you got heavy engage, you got the global silence, follow up with the crippling fear, so the more you can do to keep them away from you, the better. Already, Nine is looking to take the aggressive position, homing missile out to try and deny a couple of early last hits, and yeah, this is a smart play coming out of LooneyMelb. They want to be able to deny and contest this Invoker. Tiny, well, yes, it's possible. It's not going to go unpunished, so I rate this change coming out of LooneyMelb.
Yeah, I think Pos 1 Tiny is an interesting one. Definitely not something you see every day. Is going for, the treads into, I imagine this is going to be a very right-click centric Tiny build with the treads into the Echo Saber. Sort of a pattern, probably a blink somewhere in there as well. Have to wait and see there, but honestly, a lot of heroes that I really enjoy watching in this game. Treant Protector is another one of them. Invoker is a hero that I absolutely adore.
What just happened?
I know a lot of my friends when I started playing the game were big-time Invoker players. One of them in the tournament, actually. Captain of Giga Chatelaide, Reem, used to be a big Invoker main, but apparently doesn't play it anymore, because in the games I've watched, he's wussed out on it. But meanwhile, in the top side, first blood found onto Duckflinger by And I Never Deserved You on the Phantom Assassin.
But all according to plan, apparently. Space created is the call that Duck makes. So, all according to the USYD... Oh, no, sorry, not USYD. LooneyMelb's plan. But Q, he's going to find himself in a bit of trouble now.
Yeah, level 1 is very scary against these two, because you have the Wave of Terror, that's taking away 3 armor. You have the Blightstone, that's taking away 2 armor. And you look at Duckflinger, right? You're in minus armor already, so you're going to take so much damage from these two and their right clicks just off the bat straight away. Because 3 armor does quite a lot. It's 15% physical resistance immediately. And then obviously if you're putting that to the minus, it's even worse. And that's only going to get worse as Appa does put points into this Wave of Terror. Or if he chooses to skill Magic Missile, we'll have to wait and see.
Already we're starting to see this battle of attrition over vision coming through. Appa, he's taken out a few sentries, he's got himself an observer.
Being aggressive in the bot side though, Avalanche combo, no toss. Green Flame getting very low, but no toss skilled from Vorkor just yet. Goes for the second point in Avalanche. Maybe regretting it, because if he was able to toss him into the tower there, that probably would have been a kill, but it is what it is. Gonna force the tree back, because he's very low.
Man, Q is just battling it out up here in the top lane. I deserve you. I never deserve you. Pushed off the way for now. Self comes in, but it is going to free him up. He's only, well, now just the one last hit behind, and he's even going to equalize here. So he is having a pretty decent lane against a combo that is as oppressive as the PA.
Yeah, we talk about oppressive. The mid lane right now is exactly what that is. Might even be going for a kill here, potentially. No, 9 does decide to back up. But 21 last hits to 9 on this mid lane at only 3.5 minutes into the game. Just absolutely absurd. Does drop the rocket. Duckfling is looking to come in on the side. Ghostwalk is there. but is it going to be enough? Will the damage over time finish him off? Doesn't look like it. The fairy fire keeping him alive. The dot, no! Just enough damage from Silencer there to finish him. Beautifully done. That is going to be a well-coordinated gank, putting 9 even more ahead in this mid lane. Obviously, Invoker, very much so a late game hero. Wants to buy the Midas, scale up, usually. But not this time, actually. Going for the, oh my goodness.
I mean, honestly, that is probably the only thing they have going for them on the side of USYD in this top lane. Q is keeping up, and in fact, ahead in farm right now. They just can't seem to even touch him at the moment with all the regen that he has in the back pocket.
Wait like 10 seconds and we'll see. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Playtime. Ooh. Well-timed stun there. That was looking scary for a minute. But yeah, Q-Pulse, 5 minutes is here. It's the golden number if you are playing Night Stalker first nighttime. Time for things to get a little bit crazy. But in the bot side, things are getting equally crazy right now as Warcore getting a little bit low. Does drop the Avalanche Toss combo to Muggy Hikoku, but not quite enough damage to finish him off. But Kage going to make up for that with a couple of right clicks. And it's going to be a clean 1-for-1 trade between the Radiant side position 1 and the Dire side position 3. Meanwhile, on the top side, they finally find themselves I deserved you, though. They told you just gotta wait until nighttime, dude. You gotta wait until nighttime. Upals is just gonna come up absolutely massive. Likely gonna find Appa here as well. I don't think there's a way that he gets out unless he is actually the Duke Master. Unless the cannon creep blocks him.
He's gonna go for the Courier instead. Oh, he's just... This is cyberbullying at this stage. Gets the 2 kills, gets the Courier. Muddy Hikoku does head up top to try and counter him, and that's just, I mean, the amount of disruption that has already been caused up here because of Q. He's gonna finish up his phase boots on top of it as well, and this lane is not going at all how they would have liked. Unfortunately, he may have overstayed. Ooh,
yeah, might have overstayed here indeed, as Muddy Hikoku is going to be body blocking him in the Sandstorm. Spectral Dagger. Siphoning Dagger, I should say. The salve, though, does come through, and Duckflinger just in the nick of time to save his teammates. They're actually going back in here. Maybe looking to go aggressive onto the Sand King. No. Just getting his buddy out in time, I suppose. It's good enough for him. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, Sir Ramen Noodle's getting caught up in Paul. 9 just needs one more auto attack. Ghost Walk coming through just in the nick of time, but he does have the damage here to finish off Appa potentially. No. Both of them are going to live to see another day. Appa! Oh my goodness, I didn't think that would do that much damage. He almost gets blown up by that rocket.
325 damage on a max homing miss. That was a 2v1. That was a dire gank, and 9 won that trade. Look at the numbers. Last hits in favor for every single core on the side of UniMelb by almost 10 in each lane. In fact, it is. It is at least 10 last hits in each lane.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sad that we're not seeing the Stats Gyro build come out here. We are seeing, you know, the typical homing missile, rocket barrage, max with no points in flak. But
he's hovering blade mail in his in his quick buy. Oh, just that homing missile is ruthless.
It's an interesting one, but I mean, I definitely do think it's better if you're playing like position 2 gyro, because having, you know, homing missile and rocket barrage just allows you to gank around the map. It's a very good ganking sort of build, but at the same time, it's less funny as having, you know, 1 point, and then max flak cannon, rush, you know, early stat items like the Dragon Lance, and then just sit back and just, you know, just do lots of just auto attack damage, farm multiple neutral camps at the same time, accelerate super ahead of the curve, and then just be this right-click menace in fights.
This is ruthless. So I've Never Deserved You has sacked this lane, headed to the jungle. They've sent Muddy Hikoku top to try and contest Q, and they have just given the bot lane to Green Flame to try and, you know, coordinate something just to, you know, consolidate their losses. I Never Deserve You is not in a great spot. He's taken a huge amount of damage just from jungle camps, and Ramen is down 2 levels. They're trying to coordinate this gank, and Kage's there.
Yeah, this is a very dead Appa. Not much you can do about this one, I'm afraid. He gets melted down by the DD rune of 9.
Steal it. Don't steal your cause kills, guys. It's unfortunate.
points of exhort here for Sir Ramen Noodles now. Able to use the meatball to clear out the occasional wave, but does look like he is going for that very gank-centric Invoker build with the Urn, which, to the uninitiated and the unimaginative, is combined with Cold Snap to repeatedly proc stuns on the damage over time effect, which is very good at ganking, but he's not doing a whole lot of ganking with it at the moment, nor does he have any charges, so we'll have to see how that one goes.
Well, just on cycle, every 11 seconds, you're copping 300 damage. That is, look, an Invoker wants a pretty passive lane at the best of times. He wants to be the one determining momentum, looking for those kills. He's stacking up Exhort right now, but look at this. It's just 4 men top. They want to get this tier 1. They want to blow the map wide open once again. UniMelb were playing the exact same game they played last map, but at a far more accelerated pace.
Yeah, and I mean, the scaling is on the side of Dire for this game. USYD finding themselves in the driver position if this game does go late, but, you know, we're seeing LooneyMelb say, hey, you know, we can play early game comps as well and do just fine. We don't need to take the game to 35-40 minutes to win like we did last time. We can just, you know, pick these early game heroes, pick a tiny pos 1, pick a gyro in the mid lane, and just run over the top of you. And if you want to pick something like an Invoker, you want to pick stuff like the PA, that's fine. We'll just win before they come online. Invoker already, you know, sacrificing things like the Midas to go for this very early game sort of centric build. And, you know, it might not even be worth it in the end. We're seeing, you know, Ninestalker coming down to the bot side, cleaning up these members of Dire who were trying to push this tier 2. Really all falling apart for the side of USYD.
I mean, they sacked I Never Deserved You the jungle. He's now been forced out of his top side jungle. Has to try and clear the triangle. He's got 3 bounties there that he's going to pick up. Oh, we get the nether swap coming in, though.
Yeah, mid lane 9 is looking for a bit of damage here onto Sir Ramen Noodles. Does force out the TP, but here comes the rest of LooneyMelb. Green Flame, though, comes in. Great usage of the Tree and Protector ultimate, though, is able to melt down Duck Finger. Hard name to say. You'd be surprised. But nevertheless, great pickup, though. They do find themselves a kill in a game where they're down 2k gold at 11 minutes, which is impressive in itself.
But while that's going on, Vorkoi is farming side lanes. Every single opportunity that this UniMelb team can look at, again, just look at the numbers. Invoker at 12 minutes in the game has 38 last hits. That is unbelievably brutal. 9, he's second now because Vorkor's been able to overtake him. They're going to engage on Vorkor. He's been caught out. This is rough.
Yeah, the Sunstrike does come through and so much damage, and Vorkor is still alive. They have to force out the Epicenter to finish him off, but here comes 9. So much damage dropped onto Appa. We're talking about that homing missile into missile barrage combo. Definitely very, very good at just nuking a single target. Maybe looking for Duck Flinger as well here. No, Ramen Noodles has arrived. He does have the Cold Snap available. 9 trying to do the best he can. The disarm not going to last long enough to save Money Hikoku. I'm afraid the stun comes through. Sunstrike is there. And so is I Never Deserved You. And they're going to find themselves a quick little pickup. And already that 2k gold lead is now down to only a 1k gold lead. It's definitely put Sir Ramen Noodles back up in contention.
Maybe a bit of overconfidence there coming out the side of UniMelb. Just maybe thinking they're a bit further ahead than they actually were. They're going to be punished for it. And, well, picking up those kills is definitely going to go a long way to keeping them in this. They lose out on 9 for the first time this match, who, up to this point, had been absolutely dominating. Well, there we go. Dark Ascension into the mid lane.
Yeah, this is going to be very big, very dead Appa, I'm afraid. Green Flame with a great Tree and Protector ultimate yet again, but unfortunately, it's not going to do a whole lot at keeping you or your team alive. He's going to go down. Next target on their radar, Muddy Hikoku, the missile barrage, or the homing missile, I should say, is looking to connect. And indeed, 9 picking himself up a double kill. Q-Pulse now looking for Sir Ramen Noodles. They're just not letting any single member of this USYD lineup get out for free. Just a slaughter left, right, and center, but I Never Deserved You. Second highest net worth in the game, and it is very close. Was the highest before that last fight. Going for Battle Fury, though, which I gotta say I'm not a big fan of. I do think Battle Fury is a dead item in the current meta. You have to farm for 20 minutes to get it, and then when you do get it, you got to farm for another 20 minutes to make, going Battle Fury be a worthy purchase. I don't know, I think it just takes too long to show relevance. I think going other items on PA is better, especially considering, she gets so much early damage at a coup de grace, and Stifling Dagger is a very strong early slow, and she has a massive attack speed steroid early. I think she can actually have a lot of prevalence in fights if you do just, go for the first item, Dezo, into BKB. It's very good. And after that, going for, utility items based on what you need.
Invisibility.
But the hero, I think, can definitely be very, very scary if you do go for those early damage items. But Battle Fury is the farming route for this hero. Hopefully it does pay off. I suppose they realize that, the early...
Warcore's in trouble.
Ooh. Top side. Warcore having to run away from Green Flame here. Does pop the one-man ultimate. But it might be all they need to kill this Tiny. Yes, indeed, that does look like it's going to be a very dead one. Muddy Hikoku does pop the Epicenter here, looking to flank around onto Duckflinger and Kage S. Really a good tornado there, but unfortunately no follow-up as Ramen S is going to go down. Noah's upper. There's going to be a nice cleanup from USYD.
I mean, just the way, even knowing Vorkor is going to go down, we see the disruption to just keep them in the vicinity long enough to confirm the kill. And then they turn it. All of a sudden, 9 is there. Having those boots of travel just means he's so mobile around the map. Picks up 3 kills. And all of a sudden, that gold lead is back out very much in favor of the side of UniMelb. Despite the best efforts of USYD to try and keep themselves in this and result this series in a tie, I think they're just being outpaced at the moment.
Certainly is. Kage S maybe getting melted down here by Muddy Hikoku. We'll have to wait and see. Fortunately, the Sand King just lacks a lot of damage right now. Pretty behind in levels. Is going to get caught out by the rest of the team here. Global Silence comes through, and that's going to be a quick and easy pickup there for LooneyMelb.
I mean, it's everything that is happening now for USYD is reaction. If they can find an opening, chances are that there's already an answer coming from the side of LooneyMelb. 9, I mean, he's got the Blade Mail online. He's looking for that Sanjin Kaya. It's just, I mean, what do you do? I mean, it's the obvious question here. We do see finally that Hand of Midas in the hands of Sir Ramen, but you're competing for farm now. You've got your carry PA and your mid lane Invoker who are desperately looking for gold. And a team like LooneyMelb who are looking to fight as much as they can around cooldown.
Haste.
We'll have to see if this Midas will stand the test of time and allow Sir Ramen Noodles GPM to be what they need here. Another swap does come through from Upper. Might be a pretty significant kill from USYD. Catch Q-Par's lacking in the mid lane. And honestly, killing Night Stalker for this much of a night cycle is actually fairly significant. As you shut down his ability to be a nuisance with his passive.
I mean, even with Hunter in the night available, he's already got the Blink Dagger online. So as much as they are looking to try and do what they can to deter him, he's got the guaranteed initiation with that Blink Dagger. He can jump in, he can be a real threat, he's got the Crippling Fear, he's got that ability. It's just, there are all the tools that LooneyMelb need to win this game already in their pocket. Here we go, we see the jump in straight away.
Yeah, they're looking to just make the jump here onto Muddy Hikoku, and I gotta say, almost like deja vu. I think a little bit of a weak link here on the side of this USYD lineup. Dark Ascension is popped. They're looking for Sir Ramen Noodles here. Might be able to Ghost Walk out to safety. Is indeed. They do find Upper instead, though. Not the prize they came for, but one they're willing to take.
I mean, 9 had a phenomenal game last game on the Void Spree. I mean, arguably, he's having a better game so far here on the Gyro. Just big stuff. He's plateaued a little bit in terms of, how he's been controlling that lane and farming, but he's got the highest XP per minute, 622. He's sitting
Radiant's
second over
top
all
tower
in
is
gold
under
per minute,
attack.
so he's still keeping things up. And once again, in the mid
Oh my
lane,
goodness.
onto Muddy Hikoku.
Yeah, Muddy Hikoku is just getting caught out all the time.
You have done.
And I gotta say, he really needs to stop feeding. There's no nice way of saying it. He is definitely just dying a lot right now. Most deaths in the game, 4 and 8. And you know, he's forcing his team into these 4-on-5 situations a lot. You know, Epicenter is a very strong ultimate. Definitely is one that his team needs to have on their side in these fights. If they want to stand a chance of winning, he needs to get these, you know, good Epicenter engages.
But the wild thing is, I was talking about, you know, coming to the draft, rounding it out, they needed, you know, sort of that initiator, and they picked the Tiny. Tiny has, Vorkor has forgotten the Blink Dagger, has picked up a Crystallis instead, and is looking to close out his Silver Edge. So it's going to be using that as his primary entry and then opportunity to blow people up. I mean, already, I mean, I think it's purely coming down to the fact that Q is doing as much work as he is on the Night Stalker with the Blink. They don't really need a follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, and Silver Edge is obviously very good at dealing with a certain pesky Assassin of Phantom. Makes her not be able to crit you for 1,000,000,000%. Also makes her not be able to evade half of your attacks.
Things coming out. Oh, the Obs Ward. They knew exactly what was going on. The smoke right in view of the Radiant. So there is next to no way they find anything. Yeah, Vorkor knows. He's just going to teleport to the top lane. That is hugely unfortunate for the sign of University of Sydney.
Yeah, you look at the gold per minute, and unfortunately this Invoker, despite the Hand of Midas, is all the way down there. You look at the XP per minute, he also nowhere near the top here, so really do hope this purchase is able to come in handy for him here. He's had it for quite some time, a few uses of it, and it really has not accelerated him ahead of any of these heroes too much just yet. Have to wait and see.
Look at the items already coming through. We see, again, that desperation playing through. We've got the Desolator and the Orbital Corruption now, but the initiation.
Oh my goodness, look at the damage from this gyro. Upper disappears. Muddy Hikoku next to follow. He is just bringing the call down onto this USYD lineup. Green Flame going to be the next one to cop a homing missile to his face. Pops the Overgrowth to try and catch a little bit of space between him and his on-sewers, and it's enough to dissuade them from pushing into the racks to finish him off. But nevertheless, Upper finding a great swap. This is going to be USYD showing some signs of life here in this team fight. Green Flame keeping Upper alive quite nicely with that Leech Seed, as well as the Living Armor. And they clean it up to a nice 1-for-1. 1-for-2, I should say. However, this Gyrocopter going to be dead for another 30 seconds, and we'll see if they're able to get anything done in that time.
There's so much relying on the Netta swaps for University of Sydney. I mean, every single kill they found over the last sort of 5 minutes has been at least started off by that process. So Arpa needs to be careful. If he gets caught by the silence, there's next to no way they can guarantee that kill, especially with, you know, that Silver Edge. It's getting closer and closer right now. And with that, Vorkor can really be a threat. Not to mention the fact that, I mean, 9 is level 16
Another
right now.
smoke here in the mid lane. They're splitting up though, which is interesting. Like Arpa trying to get this Arcane Rune. Swap onto 9 into the Magic Missile. The call comes down. Here comes the rest of LooneyMelb though. They were ready for it. I Never Deserved You and Arpa are going to get melted down by this Gyrocopter. And now Muddy Hikoku running for his life. Is Gyrocopter going to have Homing Missile up in another second? It's going to connect. The stun is inevitable. And much like Thanos, he is going to go down in only a matter of time.
Well, I mean, this is just, it's, you know, hit me hard at Gyrocopter. He's got the Blade Mail. As soon as the initiation comes, you've got no way to get around it if you're Phantom Assassin. And the position you're in, you've already committed, you're already in the middle of things, you're just going to try and hit them as hard as you possibly can. And unfortunately, it's just playing right into the hands of UniMelb. UniMelb were just playing phenomenally well. They get Throsh here, 23 minutes in. They're going to be able to transition that. The best they can hope for is Green Flame, who continuously pushes the tower, has the Meteor Hammer so they can at least damage towers and keep theirs healthy with that living arm, which is exactly what he's doing. It's rat Dota, but it's slow rat.
Yeah, we do have 9 with an Aegis right now, teleporting with the BOTs into the bot side, looking for Green Flame, pushed up a little bit too far. Has to retreat to the trees, his natural habitat as a Treant player. I gotta say, you know, Treant just sitting in the tree lines, right? Using the Nature's Grasp, push out the waves, and then using Meteor Hammer to pressure towers is, yeah, you're right, it's definitely slow Rat Dota, but Rat Dota nonetheless. Pretty annoying to deal with.
I mean, what, maybe, just maybe he gets this tower before the game ends. Especially given the acceleration that we are still
Is that even
seeing.
hit the tower?
Radiant's bottom
Okay, it
tower
is.
under
Yeah.
attack.
For a moment there, it looked like that was out of the hitbox. I was like, oh no.
Well, Knight, he's on the job. He said, I've had enough of this. I'm just going to clear things out. Green Flame is still hanging around. And with
Radiant's
that,
middle tower is
Nature's
under
Grasp,
attack.
they will 100% know that he's here now. But Nine doesn't care. He's just going to keep going. The damage
Well,
is
yeah, but
quite
like even if you
significant
know
enough.
he's there, right? Like, what do you do about that? Not a lot. He has
Well, I mean-
he has the ability to tree walk, right? So trying to catch him in the trees is nigh impossible. Meanwhile, on the top side, Dark Ascension popped here by Q-Piles, trying to chase down this courier. Maybe no. Trying to chase down anything in his sight. He's a bloodthirsty Night Stalker. Finds himself a tasty Muddy Hikoku on this Sand King. Caught lacking. Dust of Revealance even to add a little bit of Indral salt in the wound, one could say. Not going to chase him under that tier 3, but definitely is going to be a very scary situation to find yourself in as Muddy Hikoku. They find themselves in the top tier 2. Looking to clear out vision in this top side. Dire jungle. Meanwhile, on the bot side, though, Green Flame still working at this tower.
I mean,
Really
look,
well
that's his
played
job,
by
that's
Green
his job
Flame.
at the
Oh
moment.
my god, is he going to get the tower with the dot? No, it's on 1 health. That's so sad. He even pings it. It's going to get denied by Night Stalker. But nevertheless, the tower does go down one way or another.
Yeah, big sad. All that effort, all that time that he could have. I mean, probably not been farming the jungle because everyone else wants to be. But he does get the Blink Dagger. All the creeps that he cleared out, everything. So he's going to be able to have that with the Overgrowth combo. So they can maybe look to make some more plays off of that. Now it's no longer Upper who is going to be setting up the plays. And with the Agnims on board as well for Sir Ramen, I mean, I'm not saying it's a guaranteed comeback, but it's looking possible.
Yeah. So scary, though, between this PA and this Venge, right? Like, if you have Wave of Terror on you, any hero that this PA is hitting has, like, minus 15 armor. Which, let's see how many people reduces that to 0. Silencer, not Night Stalker, barely. Not Gyrocopter, barely. Tiny, barely. And Shadow Demon. Okay, so 2 out of 5. And the other 3 get dropped to basically no armor. So this PA is going to hit like a truck right now with his Orb of Corruption and this Desolator. What can I say?
Green Flame's at it again, but now in the top lanes. He's a little bit upset that he couldn't get the tier 2 down in the bot.
Radiant's middle
Well, yeah, I
tower
mean, one
is
lane
under
is
attack.
done. You're just going to go towards the other one now.
Look, at
Start
this rate,
working
if
on
the
your,
game lasts for another 2 hours, USYD can win this.
Coin for me.
Yeah, definitely could. He's just waiting in the trees, waiting for the minion wave to walk up. I don't know, he's playing his own game of Dota, basically.
Radiant's middle tower
He's
is under
he's
attack.
playing PvE while everyone else is playing PvP.
Basically. He's playing like Stardew Valley. He's just tending to his crops in the lane. Beautiful usage of the Q there into the Meteor Hammer, actually. With no vision. With that blind, able to clear it out. Pretty well played.
Time that he can't be using it on the tower. Obviously, LooneyMelb definitely understand this. And yeah, you can see the pig screen players like, can someone please clear the wave so I can actually damage this tower right now? But not going to have a bar of it at all. I mean, it's easy as 9. He's got the BOTs. He can just TP up there. This is an incredibly tanky Gyro. I mean, he's only got 2k health, but he's got
Radiant's
Blade
middle
Mail
tower
and
is
the Hood
under
of Defiance, not to mention that Aegis as
Dire's
well.
bottom tower is under
I mean,
attack.
9, it's going to take a pretty significant investment to take him
Dire's
down.
bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, he didn't go for the flat cannon range and the flat cannon attacks, right? So if you're not going for that flat cannon build, you don't really need to build right-click stuff because you're not playing to right-click people. You're just playing to homing missile, rocket barrage, and cooldown people. And if that's how you're going to play Gyrocopter, right? Like, you can just all the damage is in the abilities. You don't need to build damage, so you can just build tank if that's the case, and that's exactly what he's doing here. Gets the Blade Mail, gets the Hooded Defiance, gets the Voodoo Mask, gets the Kaya and Sanj. Likely going to be turning this one into, there it is, the Eternal Shroud. And there's going to be a very, very hard to kill Gyro, as you were saying.
They've got silencers ready. Well, Green Flame quickly coming from behind. The initiation
Has been
served for the moment. They lose Cage's, or Kage's courier. Not a big loss, I would imagine. And Green Flame, his job, he's doing it quite well, I'll be honest. He's just trying to...
So annoying, dude. Like, what?
Honestly, it's working. It's slowing down the
Oh,
push.
he's found himself blinking into 9, unfortunately. Did blink the wrong way, my friend. He is going to find himself a one-way ticket back to the fountain. Not able to Q creep waves for another 40 seconds. I don't know how he's going to live with himself.
I mean, in terms of net worth, he's actually higher than the Sand King right now. He's doing better than Muddy Hikoku. So he's got that working for him. In fact, he is the most valuable support on the map right now.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to hope so, right? After getting so many waves of solo farm.
Well, he's about 1,800 above Silencer at the moment. So you take the victories where you can. Has the blink and overgrowth initiation.
Yeah, I mean, overgrowth into Meteor Hammer is one heck of a combo, and we're about to maybe see it come online here as the team fight is brewing. Upal's dropping the Knight's Ascension, Never Swap. Used to get I Never Deserved You out to a bit of safety at the cost of his own life. The newly added damage reduction, not enough to get him out to safety.
That was a
Muddy
bold
Hikoku
turn,
going a little bit over aggressive there, unfortunately. Same with the Treant Protector. He is gonna pop the buyback here to rejoin his friends. Only to get stunned again. Very sad.
I understand man fighting. I'm a big fan of it myself, but there is a time and place for it. You're not then. Not in that situation. They've lost bot racks, things. It's following a very similar trajectory to last map. I mean, we saw at that point where things started to spiral out of control. The Global Silence combo with the Blink Crippling Fear coming out of Q. Now they've just transitioned with a Tiny on top of it. And 9, who is absolutely dominating this map. Even more so than he was the last map. And from here, I mean, it's free reign. Wherever UniMelb want to go, they can basically go.
Yeah, I wonder why PA is building a nullifier here. What is he trying to dispel? Curious.
I would imagine probably the Blade Mail.
Yeah, I was thinking Blade Mail as well. And we'll have to wait and see, but there is going to be a fight brewing. Overgrowth is popped here. Do they have the damage to make anything of it, though? I don't know. Undeserved. Sitting pretty uncontested in the backline here. They're looking for Kage with the Epicenter. Does pop the disruption on himself to buy a little bit of time. And with PA going to come in with left, right, good night, finish that one off. Meanwhile, though, 9 finds himself a tasty little apple once again. He seems to be very fond of the Vengeful Spirits. Kage going to pop the buyback. Rejoin the rest of his team with a TP to the shrine.
That's all they can do. The only hope they have of picking up kills is on the Silencer and Shadow Demon right now. 9 is just so tanky. He's got so much sustainability in having that Eternal Shroud as well. Q is just an absolute monster. They do pop the Fortify to keep the Crypt healthy so they can take this top tower as well. Yeah, honestly, Sydney know they can't fight. They've only got the Venge down, but they know they can't take this fight.
Dark Ascension is up yet again, unfortunately. So if they do go in, Q-Pulse is just going to pop it and blink in. So that's, you can tell he's posturing to do that. He's sitting back with, like, around like blink range if his team gets initiated on, and he's just waiting for it. So they do have to be careful with their choices here. Arpa does pop V, and there we go. Literally, Q-Pulse does it as I was talking about immediately upon the fight starting, and he baits the entirety of this USYD lineup into overextending. Do see this Phantom Assassin here trying to do anything she can, but unfortunately she can't do a whole lot. Is just going to get melted down by 9, much like the rest of her lackeys. And they find themselves a tasty top racks. And that is going to be almost mega creeps. They do just have to push in this mid. That is probably the easiest one to push down when you have 2 shoving side lanes.
Yeah, look, I think UniMelb, this is the right call. They want to get that Aegis back in the pocket of 9 before they look to committing this push and closing things out. You just sit here, you're theory crafting. What could be the play? What does Sydney need to do to get themselves back in this? But I mean, look at that. You've got an ether blade as well. Ethereal blade on 9 on the gyro. The magic damage is just pumping out. He's also got that Agnum shard upgrade on the homing missile. So anyone running away is still no longer an option. I mean, even at the best of times.
Yeah, E-Blade's pretty good against their lineup. Obviously very, very good against PA. You E-Blade PA, she can't hit you. All of a sudden, you kill PA. And then when she does have... Oh my goodness, upper. Massive Overgrowth, though, does connect into a Cataclysm. There's a lot of damage, though, coming out from USYD, actually. Huge from the side of Green Flame. Might have turned this one around. 9 likely going to get finished off by I Never Deserve You. Yes, he is. And are they going to keep chasing? That is the question. Duckflinger a little bit out of position here, and I think they know it. Muddy Koku going to pop the initiation onto him and is starting his pursuit. That is going to be a Yules. Tasty Yules going to secure up another kill there. I Never Deserve You killing spree with a triple kill right now. And that is going to be USYD showing signs of life in this game, finally.
I also noticed something there, just as the fight was kicking off. I Never Deserved You is no longer going for the nullifier.
Yeah, I also, I don't know how I feel about that.
He's full committed. It's full setting time here in the University League. He's got the Divine Rapier ready to go. Muddy Hikoku in the mid lane.
You need triple Stifling Dagger for that to be good. He needs to get 25 ASAP. See if Kage S is going to get finished off here. She does look like it. Yes, indeed. Yes, sirree. Oh my goodness, Tiny, by the way. So strong, especially with that shard. Just able to just grab trees all day. Use them to melt people. Muddy Koku, not a great spot for him to be in. Does have a couple of his friends. His Q-Pulse is looking to get very aggressive with this Night Stalker right now. Night's Ascension is popped. Facing down Green Flame here.
The Meteor Hammer, but Q is just too fast.
Unfortunately, he does have vision with his ultimate. That is how the ultimate works. You can't blink onto high ground and be like, he won't see me. It's not how the hero works, I'm afraid. He definitely will see you.
There you go. Rush going to be started up. Another Agnum shot and another Aegis 9 going to clear out the mid lane. And he's going to make his way over, get that in the back pocket for himself. He's even got a spot for, he's got the bottle there. He's working towards his BKB. And nice, quick and done. Actually, no, they're going to give it to Vorkor.
Yeah, Vorkor is going to get that one by the looks of things. I think it's just a simple case of, obviously, 9 just not really having the inventory space for it. He does have a bottle that he could swap out.
I don't know.
I think like, the point of the Aegis, right, at its core, is it revives you when you die. And I think it's useless on 9 because they can't kill him. He's just invincible. So what's the point? Meanwhile, Vorkor, very vulnerable as we're seeing. He's going to go down. The Aegis is going to pop already. Making use of that. Appa is going to get a nice little swap. BKB is popped, though. As now he is going to get melted down. Say goodbye to Appa. That is so much damage getting pumped out of 9 right now. This Gyrocopter, massive burst potential with that Ethereal Blade.
Damage done. 1,700 in that little engagement there.
Dire's middle tower
magic as well, mind you. Majority magic anyway. Well, they get the tower, they're starting to move on to Megas, they go for the Fortify outside of Sydney. Not much more you can do, but Muddy Hikoku's going to go for it anyway. Yeah,
Muddy Hikoku looking to go in here indeed. 9 getting dropped fairly low actually, and didn't deserve you. Still fairly healthy. Is silenced though, waiting for that one to expire, but when it does, they got to be careful. As this is a Divine Rapier Phantom Assassin here, and is making it look good. Level 25. Finally on the table. Triple Stifling Dagger is going to be the one that you're going to go for. Yes, indeed. Would be stupid not to. Now she's going to be able to chuck out 3 Stifling Daggers of fight. All of them are going to have, you know, the potential to be a coup de grace Divine Rapier PA Stifling Dagger, which, by the way, will one-shot you 100%.
Also with the Battle Fury as well.
Oh, yeah, and it's a Battle Fury available as well, which means every Stifling Dagger is going to, like, is going to cleave. Just so much damage. I love this build on PA. You literally turn into an artillery cannon just sitting in the backline throwing daggers. You don't even need to auto-attack people. You just Q. Just every 4 seconds, you just chuck a Q.
I mean, it's like old Kunker, you know, in the mid lane, where you just rush a Daedalus or two, and then just go and hit something. But it's from range as well, so it gets even scarier. Look, honestly, it's one of my favourite off-meta picks is PA mid lane, and you just go into Battle Fury. This is like a few years back, mind you, into heavy damage and just throw daggers. It's so much.
Yeah, no, I used to do that as well when I used to go the triple stifling dagger. I think it was triple or double stifling dagger back then, but yeah, no, and used to go for the Battle Fury into like Daedalus on PA.
Or if you were a real pub degen, you'd build like 3-4 Battle Furies just so it's massive cleave damage.
Yeah, I used to go like 2-3 Daedaluses in the Battle Fury on PA. That was like my build, and it would smack. It would do so much damage. Because it would basically like roll all the crits like one at a time. I think they changed how crits work, but like it used to roll coup de grace, and then you would either get a coup de grace crit. If you didn't, it would roll one of the Daedaluses. If you didn't get it, it would roll the next Daedalus. If you didn't get it, it would roll the next Daedalus. Almost every dagger was getting some crit of some sort. So it was just so strong.
By that stage, it really didn't matter, because chances are the person on the receiving end was dead anyway. It's one of those things, like, you're not going to have a good... It's like a fully farmed Ricky. Like, you just know you're not going to have a good time. As soon as you see it on the screen, it's over.
Oh my god, yeah, one-shotting waves with that Q at the moment, and not even critting. Also going for the Aghanims next, which, definitely good. Having a blur. Or a dispel, should I say. Having a self-dispel on a low cooldown. Gonna be really, really good at dispelling... mainly the gyro stun, I would imagine. Although I'm not sure if you're able to. It does say strong dispels only. I don't think the Ags is a strong dispel.
We are starting to see more and more of those big late game items coming online. Plus those tier 4 neutrals. Penta Edge Blade on either side.
It's likely for Lost Word, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it. She was silenced in the last team fight by Lost Word for ages, and it cost her the ability to not throw daggers for quite some time. They're probably just going to get, the Ags, be able to blur to dispel the silence when she gets hit by it, and continue to pump out the damage. Fortunately, though, it does look like Sir Ramen Noodles maybe getting a little bit too close. Never deserved you dissuading them with a simple stifling dagger. They're very lucky it did not coup de grace crit. Once again, very lucky it did not coup de grace crit. Will happen one day. Just wait. There we go. Look at the damage. Oh, it's like half his health.
Middle barracks are under attack.
Another 3. Another swap coming through though. Maybe able to find a pickup. Yes, indeed. Quick little kill onto
all 3.
The Night Stalker. Big overgrowth though going through. The damage right now from I Never Deserved You is insane. This Divine Rapier really doing some work on this hero. Looking to get out to safety right now as a rocket is coming her way. Does have to watch out. Maybe might die. Oh, so close. No, is going to live to see another day. But nevertheless, though, 9.
Oh, Ramen, no. Well, I Never Deserved You was lucky enough. Ramen was not. The homing missile does the job and finishes them off. They're just waiting for the opportunity, though, to push in, finish off the barracks, and, well, another homing missile after is going to be the one. Oh, no. E-Blade. Oh, no. I Never Deserved You.
Triple kill in the backline in a 1v3. I Never Deserved You comes up huge. That was looking very scary at one stage, but we just talked about the Battle Fury cleave potential. Here comes 9, though. Boots of Travel used to get into the fight, so Ramen Noodles is going to make him pay for that. Does self E-Blade to stop the PA from dashing in and blowing him up. However, it has ended. Blade Mail popped. Again, he's just terrified of this PA right now, but everything is down. No more defensive items to utilize. And I Never Deserved You is going to come in and come up huge, finishing off the gyrocopter after he buys back. And even after all that, still a 6k gold lead to LooneyMelb's side, but I Never Deserved You is showing himself to be quite the problem.
So in that fight, 23,000 damage done by LooneyMelb, 24,000 done by University of Sydney. Of LooneyMelb's damage, 16,000 came at the hands of 9, and 18,000 came at the hands of I Never Deserved You. So it is very much a slugfest between two very, very stacked heroes.
Dire's
One ability, whole
structures
wave
are
just
fortified.
evaporates. It's so satisfying. Well, in the mid lane, though, they do have to watch out. Q-Pol is getting a little bit too close there. Dagger is going to finish him off indeed. Coup de grace creates so much damage. Look at I Never Deserved You. These supports don't even stand a chance. He's not even proccing coup de grace and still manages to kill Duckflinger in only a few autos. Just shows you how powerful a carry is when, you know, you do have a Divine Rapier and 2 minus armor items. Your right clicks are going to hit like a truck no matter what hero you are.
Especially given the fact that we are seeing a very much 4 Protect 1 comp, and I Never Deserved You. He's looking for more. Alacrity in. And no, there's the calls we made. Just get the hell out of here. We don't want to have to deal with it. We want everyone up and available, because that is exactly what you are going to need to be able to deal with this very late game, top heavy University of Sydney comp. I mean, look at that. All of a sudden, I Never Deserved You. 31,000 net worth, topping out the table. At one point, had to give up his lane just to farm.
Certainly is. They finally find themselves taking down the tier 2 mid tower. Appa does get the swap though to Kage, trading himself 1 for 1. A noble sacrifice. No buyback available on Kage for this push. They might be able to grab themselves this mid Rax. We'll have to wait and see.
1 Rax to all 6 on the side of UniMelb.
Dude, as long as you have 1, it's fine. And you just need 1.
Look, at least it's not one of those techie games which goes like an hour and a half and it's just an entire base full of mines that's keeping them in it. But, I mean, University of Sydney, commendable in how they've been able to hold on here in this matchup. The unfortunate thing, though,
it was like an 8k gold lead, and it's now less than 1,000 after only a few short minutes. Literally have turned it around on a dime piece and looking to take it late. I mean, we talked about Invoker in the late game. You know, he is there. He's got every single point available in every single spell. He's about to hit level 25. Once he does hit level 25, I'm imagining he's going to either go for the 2.5 Quest West Exhort, or he's going to go for Radial Deafening Blast. Likely the Radial Deafening Blast. I think disarming this team is very good. So probably going to just want to be playing around that as much as possible. Smoke has been popped though.
All their tools are in the basket of setting I Never Deserved You up for getting kills. Like, legitimately, this is a 4 Protect 1 comp. They want to enable the PA to get the kills while not dying herself.
Oh,
And,
Magic
they
Missile,
might
that's
just
going to be a
mine
very,
first.
very dead silencer, I'm afraid. Goodbye, Duckflinger. Melted down in no time.
He does have to buy back, though, and the ultimate is available. We do see that Rush is a minute
Yes.
away still, so this is going to be a little bit preemptive, unfortunately, out of Sydney. Time
Yeah.
is just not there for them.
Radial Deafening Blast, though, available on the side of this Invoker. Yet again, I Never Deserved You does blink forward a little bit aggressively here. Opal gonna pop the Knight's Ascension. And we do see, again, a Stifling Dagger does half of his HP. The swap comes through from Appa, though, putting 9 into the firing line of I Never Deserved You. The BKB is there, the damage coming through. Radial Deafening Blast. Vorkor now running for his life away from this scary, scary Divine Rapier. Phantom Assassin Duckflinger doing what he can to save his position 1. But doesn't look like it is going to mean much, as the fight is going to end up being in the victory of this Uni-Sid lineup.
Nullify there as well is going to go a long way, but I mean, it's honestly, a lot of this success can track to Green Flame and his just sitting bot, pushing the wave in, clearing those side lanes, the pressure that he was exerting, keeping this game going as long as it
Dire's
possibly
middle
could.
barracks are under
And they've been able to
attack.
translate it now. Look, they're going to find Duckflinger again.
Yeah, they're going to find Duckflinger once more, trying to get a little bit greedy with the vision game. And again, no buyback available on this position 4. 3 members dead. Roshan, you know, he is up, but I don't think that's the call right here. They just want to just use the numbers advantage they have right now to force down this mid lane at tier 3. Look for this Rax.
Under attack.
Yeah, this honestly, I think this is game. There's 3 players off the board with no buyback. You got a heavy hitting PA. You can clear out creep waves. Yeah, they're just going to shove it in. They want to clear this game out. They're going to go straight for the Ancient Towers. University of Sydney, barring some miracle play, should be able to close this one out. Yeah, I Never Deserved You. He knows exactly what the game plan is. Alacrity
Yeah,
there.
this is
They're
going to
just gonna
be
force it
looking
down.
very scary, though. Gyrocopter is up in 10 seconds. Vorkor just has to
They're just
buy
doing it.
time. looking to try and kill this PA the best he can. The damage is there. They might have her going down. She's 1 health if she dies, and the rapier goes over. This is disastrous. She is dead. The ancient is so low. The rapier's on the ground. It's going to get picked up, or is it? Sir Ramen Noodles trying to finish this one off the best he can. The auto attacks, they come through, and that is going to be UniSYD. No Brain Gaming coming back with one of the biggest comebacks that we've seen all season so far. Winning game 2 and securing this series up to a 1-1 tie.
If not for the call that was made there by University of Sydney, that game was going the way of Melbourne. Because as soon as Gyro gets back up, if they hadn't shoved down, if they'd gone for Roshan, that was a UniMelb game. 9 could have teleported in, done huge damage, opened up the ancient towers, even cleared out that barracks as well in the mid lane potentially, but the call is made. We have the opening, 3 players down, and if they haven't brought back now, chances are they won't. And it was a bit scrappy at the end. They didn't have quite the tools they needed to keep I Never Deserved You in the game, but despite Ramen's rough start, he is the one to pull it out of the bag, just hammering away at that tower. And they still win. USYD win, being down 6 kills. No, not even that. Sorry, 14 kills. My bad. 14 kills, and they pull it back. I Never Deserved You with a monumental effort there.
Yeah, you just like look at the gold graph and it says, you know, a tale of 1,000 words. What can I say? Just a massive swing back in Uni SA's favor there from, look at this at its peak, almost a 20,000 gold deficit at the peak of LooneyMelb's advantage, and they managed to bring it back from that. It is just insane from the side of UniSYD. Well played indeed to No Brain Gaming. And I mean, it's just one of those things in Dota, right? Like sometimes you just make the call, I'm gonna buy Rapier. Sometimes, you know, it backfires horribly and you lose the game off of it. Sometimes it literally wins you what was an otherwise unwinnable game. It is truly a lottery of an item, but I absolutely love games where there's just a call to just buy a Rapier and it pays off. Because he was going to build Nullifier, right? He was building towards Nullifier.
He got there in the end.
And then at some point, I think in one fight, he just changed his mind. He went, nah, we need Rapier to win this game. And he just went for it. He got level 25, got the triple stifling dagger, and just sat back and was pumping so much damage out. And I gotta say, absolutely every member of UniSYD was really doing the most towards the end there. We saw Upper landing some great swaps. I mean, his swap onto 9 at the end to get the kill onto this gyrocopter was what enabled them to win the game, take the throne, and, you know, tie up this series 1-1 in the end. So definitely Upper, even though, you know, sitting at a 0-18 KDA, very unimpressive scoreline.
I mean, he still got 18 assists, so every time he died, he still answered it back and helped his team pick up a kill.
It was literally like those kind of swaps, right? Like he was nether swapping the gyrocopter in, and then he would die immediately, right? Because like you're swapping into the middle of the enemy team, you're just gonna blow up as a, you know, a position 5 Venge. But you're swapping 9, and 9 dies, and that is like way more valuable than you. So even if you're going 1-for-1, it's just incredibly worth. And I gotta say, what a great game. You have anything else that you wanna add about the result there, or?
I mean, it's just the resilience that was showed. You're in a position, you're getting beat down team fight after team fight. For USYD to hold on the way that they did, to bide their time, knowing full well that if they can activate I Never Deserved You on the PA, literally it just turned into a 4 protect 1 comp. Keep the PA alive, set them up for the kills, and we could win this. And they played that. They acknowledged that. They did not give up, even in the face of overwhelming. I mean, look at that. 22 kills for 9. He was just storming through this game, took control at mid, did not ease up on the reins, but as soon as those opportunities presented themselves, USYD capitalized, and they fought very hard and deserved this win.
Yeah, certainly. Well, before we head out of here, one last mention to our sponsors, Blue Panda. If you would like to give a shout outs to the lovely people that are bringing you the AEL Uni League Semester 2 for not just Dota 2, but all of the wonderful games that go on here. You can walk us through those?
Well, obviously, Chatime backing the group, the team, the organization through all of this. Massive thanks to them. Make sure you go and check out their new range if you can find the opportunity. Obviously, stay safe and protected out there at the moment. AOC Monitor partners, some of the best technology out there in terms of gaming monitors available. So make sure if you look in the market for one, you're looking for something, check them out first. Probably your best option. Indomie as well, feeding the troops, keeping them going forward throughout all of their matches, and especially matches like this that as long as they are, you're going to be hoping that you have the tools and the resources to keep your boys fed, your girls fed, keep them actively participating. And RIG, superior audio for competitive gamers, great headsets all around. So again, if you're in the market for a headset, check them out.
Certainly. Well, folks, remember to go and check out AU Esports League on absolutely everything, whether that be Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, basically any format of social media that you could possibly think of. Make sure to go and follow AU Esports League, as well as on Twitch, especially AEL Uni and AEL Uni 2 are the two channels that you'll be able to find all of the university games streamed over onto. For more great Dota games like this one, we can, just seeing exactly how wonderful and how close this game can be sometimes. But until next time, this has been Kadius, joined here on the desk with Blue Panda, hoping to give you lots of love, and we'll catch you next time.